Is this the boundary of space? Completely isolated in the middle of the mountain, it can hold up the border of almost all the oppressive forces. Cloud Dance is stunned. What is the strength of the people who can create such a border? Suddenly, her hand touched a cold, stiff object. Cloud Dance slightly frowned and looked up, only to find that it was actually a white bone. It looked like a white bone on an arm. It had been gnawed extremely ferociously by something, and the circles were uneven. Cloud Dance ponders for a moment. The eye ground is dark full. What cannibal still has here? When she thought of cannibals, she couldn't help thinking of Hongling put away, astonished. Phoenix eyes look around, dense fog around. Through the fuzzy line of sight, Cloud Dance, I pass surprised light. In the distance is a stone platform, on which a tree is blooming. There are all kinds of silver fruits hanging on the tree, emitting a bright light. What fruit is that? Cloud Dance, a touch of fine light flashed by. Purple posture a sweep, instant came to the fruit tree. It was found that the fruit tree is actually transparent up and down, such as ice, emitting a clear luster. As soon as entering the boundary of space, Cloud Dance can smell a strong smell of flowers. At a glance, I saw a strange flower constantly swaying from left to right. From time to time also fell a few leaves but can penetrate into the space. She looked at the flower that seemed to have ADHD, and her forehead frowned slightly. Then, a touch of meditation passed by the bottom of my eyes. Who made the boundary of space? What race is this fruit tree? In the next second, a touch of gold was shining in the bright eyes, and it was gone in the twinkling of an eye. Yunwu suddenly raised her eyes. Her eyes happened to catch the fruit with golden light. Against the silver light, the golden light was particularly dazzling. Suddenly, a flash of rapid mirage passed by, and the golden fruit had reached Yunwu's hand. She looked at the golden fruit in her hand, and her eyes were full of light. The golden fruit is as bright as the sun and the moon, and reflects the cloud's cold and white face. Cloud Dance thought such a prominent thing must be a good thing. Mouth raised a smile, almost enchanting. The next second will swallow the fruit in the mouth, chewing. Well, it's delicious. It's cool and refreshing. She hasn't eaten for a day. These fruits are really the best for her hunger. To die. Who moved my unicorn fruit? Just as Yunwu picked the second silver fruit to prepare for the entrance, a voice of anger and fierce prison came down from the sky. The roar was fierce and frightening. Yunwu's hands froze for a second, and then he put the fruit into his mouth. Looking at the person who had come to the stone platform, he raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. The fruit tastes good. Or would you like to taste it? This is an old man in his 70s, dressed in white plain clothes, with white hair, white eyebrows, and a long beard almost hanging to his neck. The old man's fierce eyes were filled with cold anger. His face was as dark as night. He could not stop staring at the clouds. There was anger in his eyes, and a trace of heartache and reluctance. Cloud Dance picks eyebrows. What a tangled old man. He ate 2 of your fruits, but he can't afford to move so much, you. The old man pointed to the Cloud Dance. You for a long time just did not say complete. The Cloud Dance's a facial expression. Looking at the old man, you weigh. Don't worry, slowly say. You ate that golden fruit? The old man's angry eyes with a trace of expectation. Seems to expect Cloud Dance said did not eat. Yes. Ah. A roar, carry out the whole cliff. Constantly circling echo, silk Chinru heartstrings. Do you know that it took me 100 years to pick out the gifted Kylan fruit, and finally I picked out such a one. It took me 100 years to turn into gold today. You're going to give me a bite to lose? The old man could not say whether he was worried or angry. He pointed a finger at Yunwu, and his heart was very painful. Cloud Dance's eyes flitted a doubt. Eyebrow tipped tiny pick. So you live 200 years? That's not the point. The old man roared again. Eat it all. Just wait for it for 200 years. Yunwu frowned slightly. He was still wary of the old man. He must be a moody man after living for 200 years. It's not as simple as you said. The inexhaustible voice is carried out in Yunwu's ear. Yunwu only feels that there is no other voice in the ear except the buzzing roar. 300 years ago, he found 2 highly gifted unicorn fruits. One of them turned golden 30 years ago and was eaten by a woman who had no intention of breaking into his border. And this one turned into gold again 50 years later, but was eaten by the woman in front of her. Blamed. Do you think heaven is going to kill him? What do you say? Are you spitting it out for you? Cloud Dance glanced at the old man indifferently, and his eyes were cold. I'll kill you and avenge my life. The old man's eyes flashed dark, and his anger was as black as a blade. Cloud Dance micro-frown, cold way. You don't live well? Why take revenge for yourself without golden Kylan fruit? I will be stuck here all my life. Do you think I should kill you? As soon as his white eyebrows coagulated, the bottom of his eyes suddenly passed. Yunwu looks at the old man in doubt, and then at the boundary of the space. He suddenly understands that it is not the old man who designed the residence for himself, but is sealed in the boundary. I can come in. Why can't you go out? When entering the border, Yunwu almost didn't feel any abnormality, so he rushed in. With the old man's cultivation, it's not difficult to go out of the border, is it? Hearing this, the old man twisted his face. No one in the whole upper boundary can come in. Who knows who you are? At this point, the old man's angry voice turned into endless bitterness. He thought that no one could enter the border, so he was relieved to put the Kylan fruit outside and bathe in the power of the border, which could quickly increase the maturity of the Kylan fruit. Who knows, is it accidental to come in one, or accidental to come in two? The sky of wood. What boundary do you seal? Cloud Dance suspiciously glanced at the old man. The whole upper world no one can come in? She didn't come in without feeling. What did you say about you? Has anyone else come in? 15 years ago, there was one person who came in as easily as you. The old man glared at Yunwu angrily, as if gnashing his teeth. There are 2 gifted unicorn fruits in total, but you 2 each have 1. I've eaten them all. Cloud Dance lips slightly pull, a touch of dazzling smile. Old man, I'm really sorry. Oh. Cloud Dance lips slightly pull, a touch of dazzling smile. Old man, I'm really sorry. In fact, she wanted to say, Old man, you are really unfortunate. The only hope for me to get out of the border is that you don't want to go out here today. Suddenly, a white mist appeared in front of my eyes, like a hurricane, sharp as a blade, directly rolled to the clouds. The Cloud Dance jumps back in an instant. The purple robe pulled by the wind is a step late, and it is twisted into pieces by the hurricane fog. Cloud Dance facial expression a dark, crystal-bright mouse sun inside a wipe surprised to pass by. The sharp edge suddenly appears. What a mysterious power, Your strength is pretty good, and then I'll take this move. At the same second when the voice fell, without waiting for Yunwu to fight back, it floated to Yunwu like a sickle like mist. Xingmo was suddenly surprised and slightly turned his head to avoid the strange blow. The atmosphere condenses, and the space is rippling with the urgency of fighting. Cloud Dance looked at the foot of that wisp of hair. A cold light swept, bloodthirsty look instant wind up. And the old man's angry eyes looked at Yunwu strangely. How do I think you were similar to the woman 15 years ago? Cloud Dance cold, mouth tiny lift, pure and cold way. All by you so easy a blow force of continuously retreat. Ha. The old man suddenly looked up at the sky and laughed wildly. His wrinkled face softened and said, What I said is really good. Compared with her at the beginning, you are really inferior. Well, I'd like to know what kind of person she is. When I see her one day, I'll bring her most precious things to you. Cloud Dance cold the corner of the mouth raises sneer. That's best, but his name is Huang Yingying. Remember that name. The old man snorted and laughed, as if he was sarcastic to Yunwu's words. Yellow Warbler? The Cloud Dances the pupil. The eye is momentary alone. So, the woman he was talking about was her mother? Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly. She said that 15 years ago, that was when she was just born? Did she come to the upper boundary at that time? Did you come from captivity or by yourself? That's my mother. Cloud Dance lifted eyes to see an old man coldly. What? The old man hears speech to shout. A fierce mouse son can't believe of looking at Cloud Dance. You say she is your mother? Cloud dance, slightly jawhead. After a long time, the old man seemed to be relieved. I should have thought of that. Besides the people of the witch clan, who can easily enter the border. Cloud dances in the eyes to brush over to put on a doubt. This border why the sorcerer clan then can enter and leave at will. Well, you should ask your mother about that. The old man didn't get angry and said, if other people fall on the border, they will either starve or freeze to death. Cloud dance micro frown. This border is really so magical, which people can go in at will, but others can only die. In a moment, a touch of surprise flashed across her eyes. She thought that the border had something to do with her mother. Shun Yinwu's face suddenly turned black. For the sake of you being her daughter, I'll let you go today, but you'll have to stay with me and leave together when your mother comes back. What? Cloud dance eyebrows a pick, not credible looking at the old man. But I have not seen her since birth, and so on her own back, I guess I also buried in the neck of Lus. Little girl, she's very eloquent. You can either stay with me or die. You choose. The old man's eyes flashed cold, but the bottom of his eyes flashed a touch of abnormality, and he watched the cloud dance coldly all the time. Cloud dance micro frown, coagulation the old man for a long time. Finally, the old man looked away from the eyes. The corner of her lips pulled out a mysterious smile, and the gaze in her eyes also converged. I still have too many things to put down. I can't stay here, but I promise that when I finish my obsession, I will bring her back to see you, and then I will be able to let you out. The old man was frozen for half a second. After a long time, he sighed. Well, as you said, I let you go. I believe your promise. Don't let me down. Although the language is ironic, it contains a trace of reluctant emotion. Cloud dance lips cape smile. I promise you in the name of Summoner. This time you should rest assured. Summoner? The old man's eyes were startled, and he swept to the clouds with sharp eyes. Is this girl a summoner? No wonder he can always feel the unusual smell on this girl. No wonder she still looks normal after eating Kylan fruit. That unicorn is a fierce beast. Cloud dance, indifferent a hook mouth. Nothing, I left first. Wait. The old man suddenly called Cloud dance. The fundus of his eyes suspiciously flitted by. Is there any abnormality in your body? Cloud dance looks back, micro cu eyebrow. Eyebrow space is full of don't understand. What abnormality? At the end of the next second, her willow eyebrows tightly wrinkled, look suddenly stiff up. There seems to be something burning in the abdomen. The intensity of the burning is not much worse than the original fire. The rolling hot, such as ringing stick in the general, the viscera are almost condensed. Cold face suddenly a little more sweat, pale. That pair of willow eyebrows seem to be twisted together. Shaking body. Finally cannot bear the erosion. A staggering lying on the ground. The old man leisurely walked a few steps, looked at the pain, twisted cloud dance, cold hum a smile. This Kylan fruit is of great benefit to your self-cultivation. Although you can't take it for yourself, it only needs a little to help you reach another stage, but you must also bear the inhuman pain. Your mother came here like this, so you can enjoy it, just to make me feel comfortable. In the hazy, Yunwu only heard the last two words. Burning hot haze in the breath of a strong cold flash. Weak open eyes. She saw that pair of fierce eyes. Is staring at her for a moment. Seems to be enjoying her pain. The misty star's eyes flitted across a cold light. Look further. She can't guarantee that there will be the bottom line of respecting the elderly. The old man seemed to feel her obvious chill. He sipped the corner of his mouth and stood up to enjoy the tea in the tea pavilion not far away. Yunwu closed her eyes again, and the burning in her heart seemed to want to break out. Snow-white skin at the moment completely red, but also vaguely can see the red body in the body. Zizi's burning sound is more and more intense. Yunwu's whole body is full of crystal red light, such as blood-red jade without impurities, which is extremely transparent. Oh, there's a weird hiss. The cloud dances in the misty, startled. This voice spreads out in her body. Why did she feel a shiver and vibration in her body when she screamed? Sweat-soaked hair and robes, strong burning feeling seems to gradually calm a lot, and that red body also gradually restores Snow White. Finally, the figure of the cold, proud and arrogant, stood up in some confusion. At that moment, the hurricane around the whole space stopped suddenly, the air condensed, and even the exotic flowers blooming and swaying in the space stopped shaking. The night shrouds like misty, the hurricane insect chirps sa-sa-sa-sa. All is falling into at the moment death stop. The old man's fingers with the teacup turned white slightly, and his eyes looked unbelievable. In the early days of Wuzong, this girl broke through Wuzong? Did she absorb the power of Kylan fruit? How is that possible? It took thousands of years of spiritual power to make the Kylan fruit silver. It took 100 years of spiritual power to make the Kylan fruit gold. At that time, the power of the golden Kylan fruit was 10 times greater than that of the silver Kylan fruit. It is also because the golden Kylan fruit is so powerful that no one can absorb it completely. But it only needs a little, and the ability to improve is quite okay. And this girl actually absorbed it completely, directly over 2 levels to Wuzong. It's even more difficult for her to reach the level of Wuzuan. She has passed 2 levels. The old man looked at Yunwu's eyes as if he saw a monster. Is there such a person against heaven? The old man couldn't help but be surprised again. Because he was too excited, the teacup in his hand was pinched to pieces, and the tea was sprinkled on his robe, and he didn't realize it. Cloud dance micro frown, eyes as cool as Qin Quan. Also difficult to cover up the color of the eyes, slightly stunned. She was promoted to Wuzong. She can feel that when she can't bear the erosion in her body, it is the evil phage in her body that devours it and calms it down in her body. Cloud Dance's eyes narrowed and a little doubt passed. How could magic bite suddenly devour the unicorn fruit? Is it ontological reaction or intentional? At that moment, she thought at a loss, but she could not get the correct solution, so she had to answer it one by one. I didn't expect you to be more uncanny than your mother. The old man snorted, but his face was very ugly. If you know the present result, will you still show the same look as before? Cloud Dance cold glanced at him one eye. Tone is insipid. The old man's face trembled when he heard the speech. He stood up, walked slowly to Yunwu, took out a medicine pill from his arms, and handed it to Yunwu. This is a Fire 6 grade Yuan pill. It can blend with the power of Kylan fruit in your body. It may be useful in the future, but what? See that old man say half stop again, Cloud Dance pick eyebrow. Although things are good, they also have advantages and disadvantages. So don't take them until you have to. What do you mean? I gave her a good thing, but I said this again. Yunwu looks at Yuandan in front of him, and his complex emotions flash away. However, Cloud Dance also nods. Then, he put Yuandan into the space, grinning, and the purple phantom swept away. At the beginning, I was almost killed by just a Feng's 2nd grade Yuandan. The Fire 6 grade Dan was sent to the door by myself. There's no reason why I don't accept it. Thank you, old man. I'll come back to see you later. You'd better not come back. The sudden roar from all over the sky shocked the space and directly hit the cliff. With the invasion of the hurricane, the more you listen, the more eerie you are. Cloud Dance mouthy yawn. At the bottom of the gray cliff, swept out a very dazzling light. Skimming the elements of the wind, the cloud dances and leans down all the way. It takes almost a long time to finally touch the cliff ground. Besides the boundary in mid-air, this cliff is just an ordinary cliff. There is a stairway under the cliff, and several people will pass by one after another. For example, the villagers nearby are carrying baskets to salvage the petals in the cliff waterfall. The petals are the residual petals of flowers with exotic fragrance in the space. It's probably for my wife to take a bath. Cloud Dance took a look at the ladder road, looking at those villagers tired, almost bent over, the corners of the mouth tightly pursed, the fundus of the eyes swept a helpless. In an instant, she summoned Jinling, and the fierce wind rustled past her ears. In a short time, she reached the top of the cliff. Cloud Dance glances around. It was found that the iron cell was on the top of a towering mountain, with a raise on 3 sides, and the remaining side was the cliff, which was undoubtedly the best defense line. The other three-sided array is also extremely ingenious. Now it seems that if she hadn't broken into this array by accident, it would be really difficult. It's really crooked. If you're lucky, don't say anything back to the top of the cliff. Yunwu takes Jinling back to space, turns around and leaves, and walks all the way. After passing two remote corners, Yunwu finally stops. And always following her, two people dressed as villagers stopped at the same time. Yunwu's eyes were cold. After she reached the top of the cliff, they followed her all the time. They thought it was just a coincidence that the villagers came home, but they followed her at two rare intersections. If she thinks it's a coincidence, she's stupid. Suddenly turned around, Cloud Dance glanced at two people, eyes color cold, such as charm, voice cold suffocation way. Who sent you to follow me? It seems that since she came to the upper bound, there has been a hand constantly pushing the whole thing, and the thing is aimed at her. She knew that these people and these things were inseparable from the word Wu Clan. The corners of her lips outlined a bloody cold light. It seemed that things were getting more and more complicated and clear. The two didn't answer and didn't mean to leave. On the contrary, they looked at Yunwu with a suspicious disdain in their eyes. Is she as powerful as the master said? Cloud Dance's face is dark, the smile of the corner of the lip, the bloodthirsty and cold. The two errands of Wuxing Peak are really magnificent. In the case that everyone couldn't see clearly, the powerful force of a black flame dagger pierced the stone wall in the middle of their faces, sonorous roaring and shaking. The fierce roar made their ears buzzing all of a sudden. Looking at the black flame sword, they were surprised and trembled. This speed is like being pricked by the tip of a needle. When there is no feeling at all, it has been pulled out. Not yet, is it? Cloud Dance, cold eyes a Lin, eyebrows light young a pick. The strange quietness of the atmosphere, the suffocation of the air condensation. It's me! Suddenly, a voice of arrogance and publicity came into Cloud Dance's ear. I saw a brown figure appear in midair, with incomparable publicity capital, a black silk floating in the wind, sliding on the extremely beautiful face. The arc is more provocative. Cloud Dance looks at Jin Yu's words. The Mao light slightly sinks. It's her again. It turns out that as soon as they found Yunwu, they sent a signal to her, and she came all the way. For her, as long as the big trouble of Yunwu was solved, everything would be easy to say in the future. It's really haunting. Cloud Dance sneer. Black flame, sword already appeared in the right hand. Jin Yu said with a cold smile, How can I get rid of you if I don't catch you? Then try it. The cloud dances a low to roar. The fundus of the eye is impatient of light shake now. The ancient martial arts big knife has no leakage trace of sweep out. Obviously her patience has already reached the limit. Either continue to endure, or let her shut up, or kill him. There are many ways. Come. The sword runs in, and sparks are numerous. After the sparks fall gradually, Jinyan's figure has retreated more than 10 meters away. If it wasn't for Yunwu's good eyes, she might not be able to see her. Cloud Dance, just step back. Jin Yu words drag some embarrassed body to stand up, bewitched eyes surprise color emerge. How could her strength suddenly rise so much? Yesterday morning they had a fight. She is not her opponent at all, but now her strength is equal to her. What did she do that night? Cloud Dance lips hook a yawn, sneer does not reduce. A virtual shadow passed by, and the edge of the black flame broadsword was already on the neck of the two runners. Why on earth did you tie me here? There are people who need you, and naturally there are people who need me. Jinyu's beautiful eyes flashed a charming and dangerous smile. Who she needs? Is dragon evil? If the purpose of her, bringing her to the upper world, is to lead the dragon to pour out evil, who is the person who wants her to come? Is the beast gate still alive? Is it possible? You will pay for what you say. The cloud dances the lips cape of the cold to say one word. All of a sudden, the cold around her suddenly dropped, and the star eyes were stained with bloodthirsty scarlet eyes. Hit her man's attention after she agreed? Let you pay the price. That's what I'm going to say. As soon as Jinyu's voice fell, two violent figures swept out in an instant. They were fighting at the level of Wuzong. They absolutely attracted the two people who had nothing to do. Magic Bite power 3 points in the palm, ready to attack. You can see that after releasing the power in your body, Yunwu is slightly surprised that the breath of complete darkness is actually integrated with the red flame of Kylan fruit. Now the power of Magic Bite, without the original sense of terror, is full of fire, but adds a touch of gorgeous color to the power of darkness. As soon as the power of Cloud Dance and Magic Bite comes out, Jinyu's purple fighting spirit is reduced to nothingness. In an instant, the powerful power of Guwu broadsword suddenly condensed and impacted. Jinyu's words draw out space. The black iron sword resist. In an instant, the sharp and fierce tearing air current cut the skirt, reflected in the eyes of bewitching. Bang! The sound of collision pulled away, and the afterwave forced the two on the side back a few steps. When the aftershocks dissipate and the dark atmosphere is no longer full, we can see their strange figures clearly. That clank in the sharp hurricane close, finally shaking a few times to restore calm. Looking at the situation in front of them, their expressions froze instantly. After a long time, the surprised color of their eyes floated up, and their black eyes were full of horror. What's going on? The First Lady was have you been defeated? How is that possible? The strength of the First Lady has surpassed that of the Wuzong class. How can you beat her with a single blow? At the moment, Jinyu half knelt on the ground. The corner of her mouth overflowed with blood. Her face was pale and bloodless, and seemed to be greatly impacted. A pair of bloodshot eyes are staring at the clouds for a moment, and the deep part of the eye is a shock. What's that weird power in her? In the early days of Wuzong, she also had the skills of self-protection and power doubling. How could she be killed in an instant and Cloud Dance is still always cold and lazy standing? There is nothing unusual on the face, but the corner of the mouth is almost enchanting smile. Oh! Cloud Dance sneered, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became pale. So this is the strength of Mist Songyin Castle? It's really vulnerable. At the end of the speech, he no longer looked at Jinyu's sharp eyes, nor at the two men's tongue-tied horror. The purple clothes of Cloud Dance swept by, a hurricane started, and instantly disappeared in the same place. That touch of figure swept down three people's abnormal look. In leaving the range that she may pursue, Yunwu just takes advantage of the elements. At the moment, her face was pale, and the corners of her lips were dry. The impact of the blow just now had a great impact on her. Although she tried to restrain it, the tumbling in her body was very obvious. But she was injured, so can't find, and the strength of those two people is not as good as her, more can't find. Otherwise, how could she let that woman go? Yunwu measures out the medicine that can regulate the internal breathing from the space, and treats them as round jujubes, swallowing them one by one. Half a sound later, the breath began to flow. She was satisfied with the rest of the pill back to space. But, just as she was about to leave, a strange smell appeared behind her, and her back spine suddenly cooled. How can this smell be so familiar? Suddenly, as soon as she lifted her eyes, the bottom of her eyes suddenly became clear. It was the strange smell she felt when she was in the ancient town. When she didn't see anyone, she thought it was an illusion. It wasn't her illusion. Cloud Dance's eyes quietly swept a touch of frost, and then turned to look behind. After seeing the man, a flash of surprise swept by. The man was wearing a silver robe and holding a big white fan. His facial features were very beautiful and elegant, and he had a certain extraordinary feeling. He looked very elegant and gentle. For eyes opposite, she saw in the depths of his eyes unfathomable. What's the matter? Cloud Dance micro-frown, cold way. Clear jade breeze lips, cape outline a touch of warm alcohol, such as jade smile way. My host wants to see a girl. Don't know convenient? He is modest and polite, gentle in speech and manner, but with a trace of indifference that cannot be refused. And that smile, so at the moment the sun, shining warm. I don't know why, but Yunwu felt a touch of cold. You've been watching me since I went to the ancient town. Do you think I'll go? Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, and he felt that the man in front of him was more treacherous. It seems that the atmosphere in the next second of her words, the moment became a little abnormal and passed away in the twinkling of an eye. I just ran into a girl by chance and left in order not to make you worry. It's just that my master heard from you and wanted to see you. His thin lips slightly hook, shallow smile appears in the delicate face. A pair of dense and hazy black eyes, friendly looking at the clouds, seems to be waiting for her answer. Cloud Dance hangs Mao to meditate for a long time. Lift Mao to see the clear jade breeze. The corner of the mouth pulls out to put on a sneer. That I go with you? This person's strength is superior to her. I'm afraid it won't work. I'd better go with him to meet his master, ride a donkey to read the account book, and wait and see. Maybe he can make friends with his master. It's no good. There's gold in it. It's still time to oil the soles of your feet. King Yufeng seems very satisfied. The corner of his mouth smile spread a lot. Please. Yunwu follows King Yufeng all the way to Qingyong City. As the saying goes, if you do something bad, you are always afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. As soon as he came to Qingyong City, Yunwu felt a little uneasy and secretly beat drums in his heart. Could his master be Liao Zongtian after taking more than 10 pills from him? It is estimated that Liao Zongtian would like to tear her to pieces this time. She puts on a posture and is ready to leave just when she looks at the direction of the Thunder Gate suspiciously. King Yufeng takes her to gallop in the opposite direction. Yunwu took a deep breath, accepted the posture, sighed, and seemed to relax a lot. Has been flying in front of the clear jade wind. It seems to hear her sigh, silent show a smile. Soon they arrived at their destination. At the moment of seeing the name of the destination, Yunwu was puzzled, then meditated, and finally surprised. Songyin Castle? Looking at the familiar name, Yunwu's eyes were surprised, and several black lines on his forehead suddenly condensed. It's really a narrow road. King Yufeng looks at Yunwu's ugly face, and her unfathomable eyes pass by. Then she says with a smile, Please come in. Cloud Dance micro frown jaw head can only harden the scalp into the Tsangyin fort. She could almost imagine that Jin Yuyan was going to kill her with a knife when she saw her as soon as I entered Songyin Castle. Facing is a corridor surrounded by vines. On both sides of the corridor is the secluded lake water, in which the lotus leaves are floating and the lotus is bright. Then there is the courtyard-style hall, which is made of gilt and has 2 floors. It looks very luxurious and domineering. She followed King Yufeng, and after a while, she went into the living room on the left. Maybe it's because there is an old pine tree in the living room. The living room is a little dark. Occasionally, a meter of sunshine shining through the spots of the pine tree is enough to warm the whole living room. Master, she's here. King Yufeng walks into a dark corner and leans slightly. Yes. I'll go and have a look. Go down and do your business. A low, husky voice, like a frosted voice, gently spread to Yunwu's ears. Cloud Dance, eyebrows slightly pick, mouth raised a smile. Listening to the voice and attitude, it doesn't look like a soul killer, yes. King Yufeng's figure came out soon. However, when she passed by Yunwu, she caught a smile and deep eyes, then turned around and left. Cloud Dance micro frown. According to a glance at the figure of King Yufeng, a trace of cold light quickly across. The next second, a shadow of great pressure appeared in front of Yunwu. Cloud Dance suddenly looks back and stares at that person's eyes. The man looked about 40 years old. His skin was dark, and his face was full of vicissitudes. The black beard around his lips made him look decadent, but he couldn't hide his own momentum and toughness. You are Cloud Dance? Jin Kong Yin looks at Cloud Dance, that face, slightly dejected, then stir up a touch of vicissitudes of life smile to ask away. Although he knew that she was Yunwu, he still wanted to hear her confirm it. Seems to be to let his heart, that silk desire, can be more profound. Yes. Cloud Dance suspicions Piao he for a long time, just in different response. His eyes that put on the excited and surging color of joy, let her misty, don't understand exactly what meaning. It's like that. Hearing the answer of Yunwu, he looked at Yunwu for a long time, and his eyes leaped out a ray of light and murmured to himself. Like? Like who? Is it her? Cloud Dance hangs Mao to conjecture. The mood inside Iground is quite complex. Lift Mao way subsequently. Do you know her? It's more than knowing. Jin Kong Yin grins bitterly and turns his back to Cloud Dance. It seems that he hears the funny question. They don't just know each other. Cloud Dance, slightly with doubt light, eyes looked at Jin Kong Yin, feeling chin thinking. After a long time, Cloud Dance just clears slightly jaw head, the corner of the mouth across a trace of drama cruel smile. Originally, there were some men who were also strong and powerful. How could they be so sad? Now I finally understand. It seems that her mother is really good at attracting bees and butterflies. When she said this, she didn't feel a trace of guilt and blush. What can I do for you? Cloud Dance eyebrow, tip tiny pick, wriggle the corner of the mouth way. Knowing that he is just a man trapped in love, Yunwu's arrogance towards him is slightly reduced. If he just wants to meet his old lover's daughter, now that he has met her, she should go. If you wait for Jinyu to come back, the lightest consequence is that she will be followed. The worst result is that you can fight when you meet her, right? It's still a little early to deal with her. However, one day, she must clean her up. Let her know, covet her man, is unforgivable death. Jin Kong Yin turned around again, and his melancholy eyes moved to the clouds. How can you come to the upper boundary? This is not for you. The cloud dances to smell speech. The facial expression, instant ugliness sinks. And the heart can't help but shout. Still isn't you're that precious daughter. To captivate me, I'd like to leave, but a lot of people and things don't allow me to leave, do they? Cloud Dance mouth pulled out a smile. Helpless sigh. She always wanted to find out about the destruction of the witch clan. So easy to come to the upper bound. How could she miss this opportunity? However, there seem to be many people who want to deal with her, so she must always be vigilant. What's more, there's an old man of evil race, and there's one more thing she needs to investigate. I can't help it. Then I'll uncover everything and let it come to the surface. I'll be at ease then. Jin Kong Yinmei heart a low, thick eyebrows straight up, words between full of cold momentum. Don't worry about it. I'll find out. Cloud Dance in different way. I always believe that you can. Your mother is still alive and is imprisoned in the Beast Gate. That's all I can tell you. I believe you will have your own choice and judgment. Jin Kong Yin language finished. Cloud Dance, suddenly a zheng, in the heart of that vague idea, now really should be proved. The Beast Gate is still there in this way. The Beast Gate and Moibing in the human world are just chess pieces. Her eyes were cold and creepy, and the sharp breath around her was very obvious. In a flash, she said, "Have you always sent someone to watch me?" Jean Kang's frowning brow slightly stretched out, and she said with a smile, "I can't say that. I've just been waiting you. Wait for you to save your mother." Hearing his words, the cloud dances and the willow eyebrows coagulate in an instant. Waiting for her? If she hadn't crossed the body, the original cloud dance would have died. He said it as if he had predicted that she would come to the upper bound. However, this has confirmed one thing. That is, he has been monitoring her. Cloud Dance can't help but flash a trace of displeasure and anger. With the strength of his subordinates, if you want to monitor her, I'm afraid she really can't find out. It's just that I'm disgusted to think that her every move has been monitored suddenly. She suddenly thought of Qing Yufeng's look in her eyes, and a thought crossed her mind. I don't think so. It's him who's been watching her all the time, right? Is it Qing Yufeng? Cloud dancing willow eyebrows are charming, but polar with a trace of displeasure. Jin Kong Yin did not answer but laughed, which can be regarded as an indirect answer to Yunwu's question. Cloud Dance's eyes were cold, and the cold radiance of her tight lips was more obvious. Suddenly, she turned away and attacked with burning anger. He has been busy with other things. He should have 10 days and a half months to watch you for a while. Smell speech, Cloud Dance, footsteps slightly Emil. But soon, Yunwu still jumped in the air and disappeared in King Yanbao. "Dad, I'm back." A touch of heroic, arrogant voice, in the cloud left the same second, suddenly sounded. Cloud Dance calls out Jinling, flying all the way in the sky, with little worry emerging between the eyebrows. Master, let me know if I can help you. Jinling feels the indifference of Yunwu. She is deeper than usual. Then she can understand that she must have met something difficult. Cloud Dance takes back the emotion of thinking, the corner of the mouth slightly a yawn, lie on the body of the gold spirit. Still, gold spirit is good. Hearing this, Jinling's eyes were shining. Although she was trying to cover up, her eyes suddenly became very sad and helpless when she heard the words under Cloud Dance. You can sit, you can lie down, and you can use it at any time without spending money. Yunwu lies on Jinling's back, listening to the wind whistling in his ears. After a while, she fell asleep. When she opened her eyes again, it was 10 minutes past noon. Today's scorching sun is unusually hot. Cloud Dance is burned by the sunlight. No sleepiness. Open the eyes, touch the strong light, frown, and turn a body. The next second, the bleary eyes suddenly lit up. There is no state of confusion. The dragon tornado in my mind suddenly flashed a golden abnormal light. This abnormal phenomenon is the same as the last one near Jinling Nest. Is there a tornado fragment nearby? Star-eye fundus, a touch of fine on looming. Jinling dropped the sedan chair. Jinling landed directly under him. It was a dense jungle with shrubs, vines, and weeds. It looked very strange as an ancient primitive jungle. Cloud Dance looked out at the jungle and frowned slightly. Within the line of sight, you can hardly see the normal line of sight of 10 meters. It's complicated and confusing, however. We haven't found a complete map of the summoning temple. We still need a complete tornado to get the specific location of the map. It's a must. The wind element attacks the body, and suddenly a touch of green phantom attacks. The smell of vegetation then rose, forming a cluster of whirlpool, sharp as a blade, attacking all obstacles in front, walking to the ground. In a short time, the wind element has swept into the jungle. Finally, Cloud Dance vaguely saw a raised place surrounded by vines in the front, and raised a smile at the corner of his mouth to urge the wind element to roll over faster. After reaching the abrupt place, the clouds gathered up the elements of wind and wood, half squinted at the place surrounded by vines, and frowned slightly. It's a cave, but it's round. It's a minaret. It doesn't look like Cloud Dance nods slightly. It's like a grave. The tornado in my mind is once again shining with gold, clouds dancing, and a perfect radiant on my lips. This is it. It's just when she took the first step, all of a sudden, the brush in front of a black shadow. That fast she did not capture what it is, just to see a touch of things such as ink instantly disappeared. In the next second, the chill of Yunwu's eyes was lifted. The abnormal golden light of the dragon in his mind gradually weakened, and finally completely disappeared. The fragments of the tornado were taken away by the shadow. Just now the star mouse suddenly cools like ice. Sinews completely can't see the margin. You want to run away when you get something? Daydreaming. In an instant, the green wind element phantom brush left, followed the direction of the black shadow, disappeared. What element was driven by her manic? The whole quiet forest, suddenly roaring restless, all the way. After chasing out of the jungle, she arrived at a forest. The wind and wood elements disappeared in an instant. The cloud danced, and her cold eyes glanced around. Only then did she find that she had lost someone. The fragments of the tornado in front of my eyes flew like this, and the chill of the cloud dancing eyes stayed for a long time. As she walked, she looked around to see if she could find any clues. All the way down, she found that there was no abnormality. It seemed that no one had come to the whole forest except her. Is she chasing in the wrong direction? Cloud Dance slightly frowned. Impossible. She clearly see that white shadow is disappear hide in this direction. She thought for a moment and raised her eyes slightly, ready to leave, but suddenly saw less than 5 meters away from her, in front of a man wearing a blue coarse cloth robe, sitting on the ground, leaning against a tree trunk. I do not know whether it is a nap or what. Yunwu was surprised. The distance was no more than 5 meters. She didn't feel his presence at all. Not only did he not feel his strength, but also his breathing, abnormality, taste, and even a little breath. The color of horror passed quietly. Who was he? Suddenly, the man leaning on the tree trunk seemed to have a change. After a while, he finally opened his eyes. Under the cover of the blue hat fight, Yunwu vaguely saw that it was a pair of extremely evil red eyes, which were very strange under the gray light of the hat fight. For eyes opposite are looking at, the breeze seems to be a lot of fierce in that moment. Who are you? It was the red-eyed man who broke the silence first. Cloud Dance half squints Mao Sun, ponder a moment way. Inadvertently pass by here. The man's slightly jawhead. Stand up, the corner of the mouth raised a touch of almost strange smile. My name is Xiao Mu Yu. The cloud dances tightly to see forehead. The eye ground puts on a dark onto brush past. Between them need to know each other's name. Cloud dance. Out of politeness, she spoke indifferently and got up to leave. Xiao Mu's smile deepened a little and kept up with the pace of Cloud Dance. Since seeing his fate, it's better to make a friend. Cloud Dance did not answer. Still walking, Fundus displeasure has appeared. I just saw a man passing by here. He wanted to be his friend, but he was a man. Suddenly, Yunwu stopped, looked back at Xiaomu, looked at him suspiciously for a long time, slightly picked eyebrows and said, "Where has he gone?" Xiaomu shrugged, red eyes in the green robe under the cover of a hidden now, speechless strange. "I left long ago." The cloud dances a facial expression to gather. Tiny hang Mao Sun way. That don't follow me. I want to be friends with you. Xiaomu does not give up to dance with the clouds. Yunwu's face was dark, and the elements of wind were wrapped in his body and disappeared in front of Xiaomu's eyes. There was only a hurricane left, which set off Xiaomu's blue robe and his handsome and strange facial features. In addition to a pair of red eyes like blood demons, the other facial features on his face are almost as white as pure jade, which seems to melt in the sunshine. Looking at the disappearing direction of Cloud Dance, the strange radiance of his mouth rises again. "I'll let you catch up with me again." After abandoning Xiao Mu, Yunwu takes in the elements of wind and glances at his back coldly. The fright and coldness of his eyes can't be hidden for a long time. This person is too strange, so close to him, she didn't even feel his breath. At the moment of passing by him, she paid special attention to his breath. Strangely, he had no normal breath and heartbeat, as if he were just a living body. Who the hell is he? And his appearance really just a coincidence? She always has a feeling that this person's mouth is a lie. The real purpose is to wait for her to appear. There are a lot of people to deal with now. It's better to stay away from these dangerous bodies who don't know what their purpose is. Alas, Cloud Dance sighs. A trace of annoyance passes through the eyes. I'm really upset that the tornado is gone. Let her catch the person who took the tornado and make a pot of human flesh. Yunwu walked on the street, wondering if it was time to go back. Now the mainland of China may have become noisy. I don't know what happened to the dragon. But even if she went back, there was still a worry in her heart that the border was certainly not so easy to pass, and it must take some instructions to get in and out. Thinking for the moment, a touch of depression passed through her eyes. If I had known, I would have asked the old man in the border. He must have known, but after a long time, she would not go to the internet bar? Jinyu thought she would climb the cliff. How could the man in black not send someone to guard the cliff? To go is to fall into the trap. After thinking about it, she finally decided to sneak in at Songyin Castle and ask the infatuated man. Maybe the Spooner man would lend his daughter something by means of border. The night is hazy, like a gauze cage covering the whole Qingyong city. A delicate figure in black appeared and walked quietly in the dark. Sa. In the dark, outside the moving figure, there was a few more sounds. Then, the unusual atmosphere will diffuse around the cloud dance. The cloud dancing figure shakes and hides in a corner. In the corner, where the cold moonlight can't shine, she is completely integrated with that corner. This scene, however, was found by the black figure living on the roof of a tavern. The man looked at the corner where the clouds disappeared, his eyes like black hole. Cloud dance touches so vision. Secretly cry not good. Unexpectedly is the man who chases her in the cell. Cloud dance is a spiritual exploration of the surrounding. The next second, the star eyes cold. Liao Zongtian actually sent more than 10 people to chase her, plus a man in black who can't figure out his strength. Do you want to be so cruel? Didn't you just take a dozen pills that didn't know what they were doing? As for those who were so inspiring? But to tell you the truth, is the strength of this Thundergate really so strong? The people who are sent casually are all the strength of Wuzuan? A sect living in such a prosperous place must not have that strength. It seems that behind the gate, there must be some forces supporting it. Cloud dance in the brain suddenly comes up with an idea, can be 10,000 Beast Gate. The next second, strong force such as the wind roll. She had no time to think more. Distorted figure. The hand of the ancient sword suddenly appeared. Straight jump to a banyan tree. The star eyes are as clear as the moonlight, emitting a cold indifference. The black night clothes are wrapped with exquisite body, with a trace of inviolable enchanting and domineering. In the hand, and she particularly abrupt Guwu big knife, but at the moment so fusion. Keep it alive. After the silence, a voice of real death came out. In a flash, more than a dozen of Wuzuan's early strong strength came together. As soon as the power came out, Yunwu felt the pressure of suffocation. Just a second before a dozen people came to her, she quickly turned around and rubbed away. Want to run? Do you think you can run away? Indistinct cloud dance seemed to hear his words, the corner of the mouth slightly raised, purple pupil eyes swept out a touch of strange color. She took out a ruddy and transparent thing in the space and put it into her mouth. Her neck suddenly rose and fell in an instant. She swallowed the Fire 6 grade yuan pill that the old man gave her. Although the old man said, "Don't eat it until you have to," but now you have to. It's important to save your life first. God bless you. Don't break through at the critical moment of your life behind the fierce chase. The hurricane roaring in the ear, a huge breath of power shrouded in the hazy night. On the next side, Yunwu felt a cold touch behind him, and his back was cold. He turned around and rolled. Stab! The sound of clothes being cut. Almost at the same second, the hand behind her had cut the clothes behind her. Yunwu was slightly surprised. Under the clear light of the moon, she saw a hand. An iron hand. Sharp to almost touch the skin can pierce the general. In the moonlight, that silver iron hand with a gloomy cold. The cloud dances, the corner of the mouth is cold. Just want to fight back. But suddenly I felt a heat flow in my body, exploding and spreading. The momentum broke out like a torrent of torrents. In an instant, the sweat like a bean on my forehead swept across my face and fell down. Cloud dance stagnated in the air, willow eyebrows tight. She slightly drooped eyes. Almost can see the body wrapped in black night clothes, now faintly red. That red is emitted in the body. The burning sensation at that time made her numb. Not only she, but also the man who had been mocking her all the time. After seeing this, Yuzen's eyes also passed by a touch of abnormality. What's that? Kylan fruit? The man's eyebrows are wrinkled and his eyes are changing. How could she eat Kylan fruit? Cloud dance finally can't support from mid-air down to the ground. The corner of the mouth is still stubborn by teeth smile. That smile pale but don't yield. The whole body is crystal red and transparent, exuding the smell of flame spread just like the fire system Lepinuan pill that just swallowed. How can you have Kylan fruit in your body? As soon as the man's figure was swept away, he came to Yunwu's side in an instant. The profundity of his eyes was really astonishing. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to raise almost painful smile. Lift the MOU to glance at that person one eye. How? You also want? The man is tiny Zheng. The next second, but pull out a touch of radiant with a smile. I want, don't know if you can give. I've eaten it all. Do you want me to spit it out for you? Cloud dance glances at him. His face is as red as jade. Sorry, I don't have such a disgusting habit. She straightened up, cold and unyielding. She could feel something in her body melting, painful and comfortable, hot and cool, just like being in two extreme worlds, completely out of her control. Tell me where the Kylan fruit is, and I'll let you go. The man's eyes were clear, and there was a trace of urgency in his voice. I tell you, bang. The cloud dance words haven't finished. See that the man in black leave the ground in an instant. The whole person flutters in the night. The embarrassed roll attack, fly out. In the dark night, it seems to hear a few broken bones. Finally, the silver hand hit the ground, and the man managed to stop the sliding and rolling body. He hung his black eyes, and the look of the fundus of his eyes was like pain condensation, and the peak eyebrow was slightly wrinkled. Poof! Finally, a mouthful of blood from the man, sprayed on the pair of Qingmong's iron hand, splashed a bloodthirsty arc. The man raises Mao to see to cloud dance. The disbelief of eye ground is extremely obvious. How is that possible? The woman in black in the distance is like a devil now. Her whole body is like burning. It's transparent and bright. It's full of beautiful haze. Especially her eyes are burning with fire. The man was surprised. How could it be so strange, are you aware? Cloud dance mouth light pick sneer, step by step toward the man. She said that when she was strong enough to fight him, she must be good and teach him a lesson. It's now. The man stood up, but did not find the stiffness of the body at the moment. The embarrassed body seems to be the same as his mood now. The next second, the man jumped in the air and drew up a black python. Suddenly, the night sky changed color and became dark. He roared at the cloud dance. The cloud dances around the corner of the mouth, and the bright scarlet eyes are burning. In a moment, a giant fire unicorn comes out of the body. As soon as the unicorn comes out, it suddenly lights up half of the sky, while the nearby pine trees are all burning and seem to be drying up. More than a dozen people in black who had been standing on one side were almost stunned to see this scene. Is this woman the devil? How could it burn all over? Her strength is above the left Dharma protector. What happened to that giant unicorn? Isn't that woman's analogy? How does it look like a flesh and blood reality? Watching the cloud dance, all kinds of horror. In the next second, Kieran burst out a flash of magma flame, directly incinerating the black dragon in the night. The flame was so powerful that it penetrated the black dragon and directly lifted it into the air. Bang! In the night, a loud noise rang out. The flame tore the night apart and spread directly. The night was burned thoroughly and could not recover its original color for a long time. The whole Qingyong city seems to be busy at this moment. The man looked at the cloud dance, and his eyes were surprised. He couldn't say what he wanted to say. Cloud dance is raising demon like bloodthirsty luster, walking like lotus, walking slowly towards the man. Seems to want to tell him, wait to die, feeling good? Wait a minute. Just when Yunwu was going to give him a fatal blow, he suddenly yelled in his voice, which surprised Yunwu, but she stopped first to see what he wanted to say. If this person can be used by her, everything she wants to know will be clear. Any last words? Cloud dance coldly glances at him, and the burning pupil reflects the shadow of that person, like a fantasy. Stay away from me first. Cloud dance jumps back a few steps. There is a trace of displeasure between the eyebrows and eyes, and says coldly, something to say. What a fart. Let's exchange one condition. I can tell you what you want to know. How about you tell me where to find Kylan fruit? The man raised his eyebrows and asked the meaning of cloud dance. Cloud dance gathers the sneer of the corner of the mouth. Cool lips lightly open. Should you take two conditions to change me a conditions? The man's face suddenly sank. How could he not understand her? He said in silence for a long time, okay, just two conditions for you. Cloud dance, slightly jaw head, cool lip side corner slightly hook up. To this transaction seems very satisfied. Is Liao Zongtian a member of the beast sect? Yes. Cloud dance flame pupil eye cold on for a moment. That burning flame condensation for a moment clears slightly jaw head. Where is the old nest of the beast gate? Wang Yinfeng. Is that the answer? I'm talking about the exact location. Cloud Dance coldly glances at him, indifferent way. Now Wang Yunfeng is hollow. The man seemed very helpless and said one more sentence. It turns out that the old nest of the 10,000 Beast Gate is a mountain peak. Ah, the clouds are dancing, and the corners of the mouth are rippling. It seems that as long as you go to the 10,000 Beast Gate, you will get a lot of harvest. Suddenly, the cloud dance willow eyebrow is not easy to detect slightly a see you. The eye bottom put on the worried look to pass by, turn round to want to leave. You haven't told me where the Kylan fruit is? The man roared at the back of the cloud dance, with a clear anger between the words. As long as you jump off the cliff, you can see the Kylan fruit tree. As for whether you can get it, it's up to you. Cloud Dance micro glanced at the back. A swept body disappeared in the clear on night. But I advise you not to go. After the Cloud Dance leaves, the whole space returns to the original temperature, and the strong, burning feeling seems to be hidden in the night. Hearing her words, "Manfong may I see you," I ground a motion complex, iron hand grasp of rub sound. The next second, the man's eyes cold as prison, iron hand a horizontal, instant a touch of cold, blood-dyed iron hand in this time. You! More than a dozen people who were completely unprepared fell to the ground in an instant, with blood splashing and ferocious pain. Only the dead don't talk about tonight. The man smiles like Poppy, looking at the figure disappearing in the night, blooming a cold radiant. The night is quiet and strange. In the disordered tree line, a hurricane shakes, a purple figure suddenly appears. As soon as it appears, the whole person faints to death on the ground. Her face ruddy, breathing evenly, not like what hurt, but like in the absorption of what. At this time, a man in a blue robe came slowly, looking at the woman lying on the scorched leaves, showing a strange smile. Xiaomu came to Yunwu and looked at Yunwu, who was covered with rain, steam, and fog. He shook his head slightly. "Ah, I didn't expect you to be so talented." His lips angle uncanny of hook, dark red Mao, inside approbation, instantaneous flit. The highest level of the Millennium Golden Unicorn fruit is to absorb it into the whole body and refine the Fire Unicorn. Then the Numenon and the Fire Unicorn will depend on each other for survival, and the other will become stronger as their ability increases. You should know that Fire Kirin's ability is improving very fast. Everything related to fire elements can be absorbed and transformed into its own power. This Fire Unicorn is a real Fire Unicorn, but it can hide in people's body in the form of a fire. When it feels that its residence is in danger, it will rush out and turn into Numenon to resolve the danger. That is to say, once someone has completely absorbed the golden Kylan fruit, the Fire Kylan will appear, and its residence is the person's inner abdomen. You've eaten the only golden Kylan fruit. Is that old man crazy? Xiao Mu squatted on the ground, looking at the rosy face of Cloud Dancing. His lips were a little thin and cool. Suddenly, a white crystal appeared in Xiao Mu's palm. It was as bright and clear as his face, flashing the light that pierced all the darkness. In the next second, Xiao Mu's hand buckled, and the crystal narrowed to the size of a little finger. The palm was placed on Yunwu's forehead. After a strange force appeared, a diamond mark appeared on her forehead, which disappeared in a short time. I put my trust on you and him, and I must leave at ease. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept by, torn leaves floating high. A piece of fallen leaves suddenly turned, crackled on Yunwu's face, just woke her up. Well? Yunwu frowned in pain and finally got up on the ground. Just stood up, saw Xiao Mu standing on the ground, suddenly cold eyes. "How are you here?" Xiao Mu mouthed slightly young smile. "Because I want to take you to see a person you want to see." Yunwu looked at the face covered by the green robe. For some reason, there was always a strange and gloomy feeling in her heart. She was especially laughed by him. Although she was pure, it was too strange. "I have no one I want to see." Cloud Dance coldly takes back the vision, gets up to leave decidedly. Are you sure? Don't you want to see him too? He. Cloud Dance suddenly stops. Willow eyebrows slightly twist. Cold glance to behind Xiaowood. Cold way. Who is he? Xiaomu looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile and shrugged. It's up to you whether you want to go or not, but he can't wait for you too long. Cloud Dance's eyes are sharp, passing a trace of ice on, staring at Xiaomu, pondering for a long time, and finally turned to Xiaomu. Who is he? He's him. Who else? Xiaomu looks at Cloud Dance doubtfully. Is what he says not clear enough? Lead the way. The cold voice condensed the whole forest in an instant. As soon as Xiaomu's white teeth were exposed, his red eyes rolled strangely, and he walked towards his destination with Cloud Dance. The sky is dense and hazy. A touch of pale has appeared. Two figures are walking slowly. Can you hurry up? Cloud Dance follows behind Xiaomu, just like a leisurely walk in the courtyard. At this speed, can we get to the place? Xiaomu suddenly stopped and looked back at Yunwu. This is my fastest speed. The fastest speed? Will Lincoln Royal Travel meet? No matter how bad it is, I won't run in the air. You don't know martial arts? Cloud Dance tiny pick eyebrow. The eye ground is full of ice frost displeased expression. Xiaomu sincerely shook his head. Some lost way. Will not. Yunwu looks at him with red eyes and dim look. It doesn't look like he's lying. But does he really know how to use martial arts? The Cloud dances suspiciously. Since the moment I saw him, this man was too strange. Last time he appeared in front of her. This time, he still appeared in front of her. The last time she searched for the place where the tornado was, she came back half an hour in the air. If at his speed, she couldn't come in 2 days. How could she come in 1 night? Say, he doesn't know martial arts? How can you believe that? However, time is pressing. Yunwu has been worried about whether he is Dragon Qingxie, because the last time she heard the conversation between the man and the old man in the iron prison, she seems to have found the trace of the young master of the evil family. Although we can't be sure that the young master of the evil family is Dragon Qingxie. Suddenly, a hurricane suddenly propped up, suddenly wind residual cloud volume. 2 figures roared past majestically. Wow, I haven't felt that for a long time. It's really much faster. Xiaomu stands in the element of wind, looking at the hazy sight in front of him, exclaiming with joy. Yunwu, indifferent to a face, did not pay attention to him. Between the eyebrows is even cold eyes. At the moment of touching his body, Yunwu's body is almost rigid. His body is like a piece of jade. His hand is completely cold and smooth. He has no life activity at all. Who on earth is he? Cloud Dance seems to be able to feel that her hands are ice all the way. I don't know whether it is because of his cold body or his inexplicable strange body. She pondered for a long time and tried to ask him who he was, but she finally held back. If you know that he won't answer the question, don't ask for nothing. Soon, under the guidance of Xiaomu, they arrived at their destination. At the moment of arriving at the destination again, Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, looking at the peak in front of him, and there was a trace of edge in his eyes. Beast Gate. Beast Gate on Wanyan Mountain. The mountain peak is only 2 meters high, but it is more than 100 meters long. All around the mountain peak are protected by spiritual masks. These spiritual masks give him the same feeling as those of the old man who was imprisoned in the ancient town. Is the old man imprisoned by the beastmen? If it is, the power of these power masks is obviously stronger. With her current strength, there is no way to break it. Yunwu stayed in the corner of the mountain, looking at the beast gate not far away. His eyes were startled. Here's the man you're talking about? Cloud Dance glanced at Xiaomu's cold way. Xiaomu's slightly jaw-head, a pair of strange red eyes are not instant looking at the beast door. Rare static. Cloud Dance tightly purses lips cape, slightly frown. Is Long Qing evil really captured by 10,000 beast door? The strength of the people in the above world. If you find him, it's no surprise that you can catch him. But with the strength of Dragon's evil body, Even if she is imprisoned, she can be informed why she doesn't feel at all. Xiaomu took back his eyes and looked at the cloud dance with a smile. Go. It's too late if you don't go. Can this power mask be open? A touch of worry passed in Cloud Dance's eyes. It's best to open nature. If you can't open it, you will scare the snake. Everything will be difficult at that time. Just go and have a try. Xiaomu said that the wind is light and the clouds are light. Cloud Dance coldly glanced at Xiaomu, who was standing and talking without backache, and then half hung his eyes. The complex emotions in his eyes changed rapidly. If it's the dragon who is caught, no matter what the result is, it's worth going this time. If it's not the dragon, then this time Yunwu sighs silently. She seems helpless. Does she want to be caught? Is it Dragon Qingxia or not? Well, what she doesn't want to be caught is Dragon Qingxia. She'll go this time. After she goes in, whoever wants her life, she'll give her life first. Suddenly, a black figure passed by, disappeared in the original place, and with unstoppable speed, sneaked into the beast gate. Xiaomu looks at the cloud dancing in, and the strange smile at the corner of his mouth reappears. Good luck! Yunwu, who just sneaked into the gate of 10,000 beasts, soon hid himself. Yu Guangwei glanced at the magic mask outside the gate of 10,000 beasts, and his eyes were cold. When she just approached the power mask, she didn't use force to break it. To be exact, when she didn't have that idea, she felt that the power mask seemed to suck her in with a strong suction. She slightly frowned, and a cold light flashed over her eyes. It was obvious that this matter had something to do with Xiaomu. Forget it. I'm in anyway. It's important to get down to business first. Yunwu glanced around. Except for a few oil lamps, there was a lot of darkness in the whole beast gate. The darkness extended all the time, and the end of the beast gate could not be seen. In a short time, they would go in and out, as if they were on an inspection tour. Yunwu found out the patrol rules of those people, and then he dodged into it. The two people on the tour only felt a gust of wind passing by. They looked at each other in disbelief. After looking around, they found nothing, which dispelled their doubts. Cloud Dance glances at the back of the two people leaving in the dark, with a sneer on the corner of her mouth, and then continues to go deep. Then I found out that the beast gate was really big, and the dark smell had been around for a long time, but I didn't see the end. Yunwu walks into a dark and cool place, looks around, and finds that this is the cell of the beast gate, where almost all the prisoners are above the great martial arts master. Cloud Dance lips cape, slightly a pick, cold on hook up. Catch these people, a lot of credit is Ignite Ice. It turns out that Mo Yebing is really just a chess piece of the beast sect in the human world. Every chess piece is so arrogant. She really wants to see the strength and arrogance of the beast sect. But what do these people have to do with the beast gate? How can so many people be imprisoned? There are 5 or 6 people in each cell. Their strength is around Wuxing, and the worst one is no less than the great martial arts master. They don't know whether they have been negotiated or controlled. Everyone is meditating steadily, and no one finds her. Could her mother be here? Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow. Ground instant complex, was about to go elsewhere to have a look, by the way to look for, but was a cold voice to stop the pace. Young lord, I advise you to be honest, or the lord will be angry, and it will do no good to anyone. This voice a little familiar, ever since you arrested me. I've been here in peace. Is there anything else he's not satisfied with? A wild voice came out of the dark cell, as if with a mocking smile. Xingwan? Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly, and a touch of cold silver passed by. Listen to that man, just call him Little Lord. Is he the Little Lord of the Beast Gate? You should know that the Patriarch didn't imprison you for peace. Don't try to challenge our bottom line. Thin, cool voice, almost in this dark, bone chilling into one. It's him, the man who robbed Shangguan Qingma. Cloud Dance Mao Guang suddenly a cold. No wonder he said since met to take together. Now want to come. If he took her by the way at that time, it must be a great achievement. Ah, did I hear a joke? Call me Little Lord, call myself subordinate, and ask me not to challenge your bottom line. Do you really regard me as a little master? Shangguan suddenly looked up to the sky with a long smile, which was more bitter and helpless. Little Lord, I just want you to understand that you are always against the Beast Gate, and Vice Lord is not easy to do either. The response to Qingma is a long silence. Cloud dance, slightly frown. Eye-ground contemplation flits by. Came again a deputy patriarch? What does Shangguan do to the deputy suzerain? I'm tired. You can go away. After a long time, Shangguan's lazy voice sounded again. Qingma's face sank. Looking at the Shangguan who closed his eyes tightly, the cold breath spread, the sleeves brushed, had disappeared in the cell. Cloud dance, see Qingma leave. Lip smile appears. A touch of mirage swept out. Instant already appeared in the cell. Have you finished yet? The upper official low roars a, turn round, lift mouse sun cold of stare a person. At the moment of seeing the cloud dance, the eyes change from cold to surprise to joy, and finally to ecstasy. Little five? An earth-shaking roar, slamming concussion in the whole cell, constantly rebounding, just like Shangguan now that excited heart general, one up and one down back and forth. I'm afraid other people won't hear me, right? Cloud dance micro, cu willow eyebrow of white, he one eye, hurriedly with strength, see ear sealed up. Shangguan didn't like it. He raised an uninhibited smile at the corner of his mouth. How can you be here? Cloud dance mouth slightly yawn, also waved a smile. To save you, believe it or not? I don't believe it. Shangguan turned his lips suspiciously, and his eyes were full of doubts. You must have come for something else. Shun Xiao met me, so he came to have a look. Cloud dance looks at him, 12 an attitude firm. A trace of disbelief appearance, the facial expression brush of a black. In his eyes, she really so cold-blooded ruthless? She looked at Shangguan, who was bound by chains, and sneered at him. She really deserves to be the little master of the Beast Gate, and her treatment is better than that of ordinary people. Shangguan's smell speech, uninhibited eyes swept a little surprised. Lift eyes to see Cloud dance. You all know? Cloud dance, slightly jaw head. Squint at him one eye. You are very afraid of people to know? Oh, because I don't think it's a glorious thing to be the young master of the Beast Gate. Shangguan sneered, and his mouth was full of disdain. Cloud dance seems to understand his words. Slightly jaw head, drooping eyes ponder for a moment, said, Let's go together. After hearing her words, Shangguan froze for a moment and looked at Yunwu. Aren't you looking for someone? It's looking for someone, but I don't mind taking one more. Shangguan was silent for a long time, and finally sighed. Forget it. You'd better take the person you want to take away first. Although I'm not free here, no one dares to do anything to me. You are different from the person you want to find. Have you seen anyone arrested these days, such as Long Qingxie? Cloud dance, slightly frown, eyes cold. Dragon poor evil? Shangguan's uninhibited eyes swept over a touch of surprise, and then shook his head. I haven't seen it, but what does the Beast Gate do to catch him? I don't know. It's just speculation. Cloud dance cold hum a smile and more than a hint of danger. Shangguan Wei nodded, pondered for a long time, and then said, With my understanding of the 10,000 beasts, they are only interested in you. As for the identity and value of the dragon, I don't think it's on the list of the 10,000 beasts. Cloud dance's eyes are deep. What does Xiaomu mean by the person she wants to see? Suddenly, a powerful force rose, and the red fire blade rose, and the chain that bound Shangguan was cut off. Shangguan looked at the chain that had been cut off, and his lazy eyes were slightly surprised. This chain has a huge attachment. The more struggling, the stronger the bondage. He gave up and broke free, but she cut it 2 or 3 times. Her strength has risen again. Xiao Wu, why does God always take special care of you? Shangguan looked at the red eyes of Cloud dancing, and the shock of the fundus of his eyes flashed by. Cloud dance glanced at him one eye. The corner of the mouth coldly glanced. What else are you looking at? Do you want to stay here? The devil wants to stay in such a place. Shangguan leaped in the air, turned forward naturally, and the uninhibited light on his body was shining again. It's good to feel free, Xiao Wu. In order to give you my freedom, please let me know if you have anything in the future. Oh! Cloud Dance pick eyebrow, looking at Shangguan's smile, so generous. No, it's not. It's such an important thing. How can it be so generous? The Shangguan didn't mind that Yunwu was half joking and half joking. He just put out his hand to Yunwu and said, "Don't you go yet?" "Go?" Cloud Dance doesn't care to catch Shangguan's hand. Two people jump on the roof together. But just as he was about to leave, Cloud Dance was stunned. At this time, it was a dark and windy night. Yunwu took a look at the sky covered by dark clouds and said with a smile, "It seems that you have left for the time being. It seems that your acquaintances have come." Acquaintances? Shangguan was just beginning to have doubts. But the next second, Shangguan also seemed to feel something, can't help but pursed his lips, look a little unhappy. What bad luck immediately. He heard an angry rebuke of discontent. "Where else do you want to go this time, you villain?" They turned around and looked at the middle-aged man dressed in Chinese clothes in front of him. They saw that his face was full of anger. However, when his eyes swept to Yunwu's face, he was obviously stunned for a moment, and then whispered, "I didn't expect you to come too. Since you are here, don't leave." The man who came here is Shangguan Li, the father of Shangguan, the deputy leader of the beast sect. However, his last sentence was obviously astonishing. "Don't go?" He recognized Yunwu? Father Shangguan gritted his teeth and looked complicated in his eyes. "I'll go back with you and let Xiao go." "Oh, you want to go back with me? And this woman must not go." Shangguan said in a cold voice that a strange light had been kindled in his hands. As soon as his feet were shocked, the roof of the three people's feet trembled. Shangguan jumped down with Yunwu, and the earth seemed still shaking. "Rebellious son, I asked you for the last time. Will you go back?" Shangguan Li's eyes stare at the clouds darkly. In the face of his father's similar threat, Shangguan turned black and scorned to sneer. "If you like, leave the position of the patriarch to others." "I don't want it, son of a bitch!" Shangguan Li roared angrily. However, as soon as the roar of Shangguan Li came down, two cracks appeared on the earth. It seemed that something dark was about to move. Just wait for Shangguan Li's order, and you will rush out. For this Cloud Dance naturally has a sense. Looking at the confrontation between the father and son, Yunwu couldn't help laughing and said in a crisp voice, "Old man, if your son doesn't want to go back with you, it's better to let me take you down the mountain." Shangguan Li is speechless, but his eyes are full of killing intention, and his hands are full of claws. Cloud Dance slightly narrowed her eyes. But just as Yunwu was on the alert, something about to move in those two cracks finally broke out of the cocoon. Bang! There was a loud noise breaking through the ground. Huge body lying on the ground is actually two lizard general monster. In front of the two, Yunwu and Shangguan are not enough. Troll lizard, the upper world of Warcraft, rare species, 7-level Warcraft. 7 steps all troll lizard. Your father is really a good hand. Cloud Dance in the mind under the information, the corners of the mouth slightly a hook up, half said a taunt. There is a trace of shame on Shangguan's face. It's all because he has hindered Yunwu. If Yunwu was the only one, how could he have wasted so much time that his father found out? But at present, he can't help being indecisive and sentimental. "Give me a sword. No regrets?" Cloud Dance deceived to glance at him one eye. How to say, this is his father. If there is anything to regret, I have already chosen it. Good. Cloud Dance is not talking about anything. When I turned my hand, a blue light flashed out in an instant, and an ice sword suddenly condensed out. Shangguan took the ice sword condensed by Cloud Dance in his hand, got cold and fresh, dodged the huge poo claw, and reached the top of the troll lizard's head. Then he didn't hesitate to send his force down. When the blade pierced the troll lizard's hard skin, it went in most of the way because of the falling gravity. At the same time, the ice sword was broken because it couldn't bear the huge pressure. Although this blow did not kill the troll lizard, it also added a lot of damage. Hiss! But the troll lizard writhed violently because of pain. And Shangguan, who was standing on his back, still had some weak bodies thrown out under the big twist. He even stepped back a few steps before he could barely stand firm, and his chest was unsteady. First, in front of the expressionless Shangguan calendar, a trace of worry finally flashed in his eyes. That's interesting. Cloud Dance flashed an intriguing smile in her eyes, formed a wind blade in her hand, and mercilessly cut the whole body of the troll lizard. Since she accidentally ate the Kylan fruit last time, her strength has improved a lot. Looking at the underground, two seemingly ferocious, but actually tough inside the stubble of the warcraft, the abuse of the rolling. Shangguanli finally couldn't help but frown. He flew down and slapped mercilessly at Yunwu, who was avoiding the tail of the troll lizard. Cloud Dance's pursed lips dodged away and looked at Shangguan, who had already rushed over with a gloomy face. Shangguanli turned around and kicked him out. Father and son are so ruthless? Cloud Dance said frivolous, but it is obvious that the Shangguan calendar just left a bit of strength. Father and son. However, because Shangguan's body has not recovered properly, he let him cover his chest for a long time. Well, you'd better go back with me, or don't blame me for being merciless. Shangguanli stares at Shangguan and shouts. Shangguan frowned, but he still said, I've already said that. You don't have to ask anymore. Shangguan's obvious position finally made Shangguanli angry. Well, if you don't go back, I'll take her back. I'll see if you can go back then. As soon as Shangguan's words fall, he stares at Yunwu coldly. His fingers are moving slowly, ready to fight at any time. Aha, you can go as soon as you want. Isn't my girl very shameless? Cloud Dance sneers. In the hand congeals 3 wind blades to hit out. The body retreats. Is it? Shangguanli gave a cold smile and waved his robe to break up the wind blade. Then he rushed straight up. In a twinkling of an eye, he came to Yunwu and waved his hand again. Yunwu wanted to dodge, but he was half a beat slower. Seeing that the palm was about to hit, Yunwu quickly clenched his teeth and opened it with the help of force. His arm was still numb. Damn it! However, at this time, it is not suitable for them to come out. With a flash of inspiration, the Cloud Dance is denouncing in my heart. Hi-oh, how long are you going to hold on? As soon as the words from the bottom of my heart fell, another attack with strong wind came in front of me. Cloud Dance, pupil contraction. But at this time, almost did not wait for Yunwu hand, chest a jet of black gas. Bang! A loud noise spread. The next move will be hard. I saw a mass of black fog, suddenly blocked between the two, but soon the black fog disappeared. Shangguanli's face sank. Under the afterwave, he was repulsed for a long distance. You've hidden a lot of good things. Shangguanli was a little surprised at the moment. Just now, he deliberately converged 3 points of strength, but it is still not what ordinary people can afford. He was so easily the thing created by Cloud Dance's coming. What a strong breath. Thank you very much. Cloud Dance barely stand firm, cold corner of the mouth. But he took a look at Shangguan's direction. Shangguan didn't know when, but he was entangled by the 2 troll lizards. It seems that she can only rely on herself now. Just a few moves has been enough to let Cloud Dance fully find the gap between the 2 strength. There is no turning back now, can only resist. I'd like to see how much you haven't done yet. At the end of the speech, Shangguanli's strong breath suddenly attacked. Cloud Dance's eyes were cold, and it was not hidden. The ancient sword came out of the sky, and the black fire attacked and ran away quickly. Clang, clang, strong breath confluence, splash countless sparks. It's just that the gap in strength is a gap in the end. Until after a few moves, Yunwu gradually lost and was hit in the chest with a flying palm. And the black AO in the Chaos Hall, his face changed, and he seemed to be unprepared, but he also quickly brushed his hand and the strong black fog came out. Bang! Two strong forces intersect aftershock. This block, although the cloud dance blocked to most of the strength. But at this time, all cloud dance. But the facial expression suddenly big change. Poof! A gush of blood. The next second, Yunwu's face was pale and her feet were soft. After kneeling on the ground, she saw a strange red light shining in her star eyes. And also at that moment, a red light passed by. Roar! A strange animal roar suddenly raised. At the same time, a fire-like unicorn suddenly appeared, and a huge fire-red body flashed out of Yunwu's body. I saw that its tusks were ferocious, and it greedily devoured the body of Cloud Dance. The gradually reduced fire element, a pair of red eyes staring at Shengguanli, and a low roar in the mouth. Roar! The consciousness of Cloud Dance, at the same time that what Qilin flashed out of his body, went into a coma. Just like the previous general, the body seems to have been put a piece of red charcoal, but her whole body appears a layer of protective cover that can be seen vaguely. Like in evolution, Shengguanli saw this scene. His eyes flashed a look of consternation. The fire unicorn in her body? What's going on? And this wench, unexpectedly at this time, strength evolution? Forget it. Anyway, let's get rid of her first. Shangguan's eyes were cold, and the attack went away after the Shangguan solved the two entangled warcraft. He turned around and found that the situation was not good. He quickly stopped the warcraft before Shangguan attacked Yunwu. Rebellious son, do you want to help outsiders? Shangguan Li abruptly stops the attack and stares at Shangguan angrily. Shangguan cold of face. Toward Shangguan calendar angry stare one eye. Cold voice way. She's my friend, you can't hurt her. Friends? Shingguanli sneered. That's just right. Without your so-called friends outside, you can accept your heart. As soon as the words came down, Shingguanli didn't hesitate at all and rushed over again. Shangguan quickly went up. After a few moves, Shangguan gritted his teeth to support him, but he was still defeated. Shangguanli grabbed him by the collar and threw him aside. Then Shangguanli turned to Cloud Dance. Above Yunwu's body, there is only Huiqilin who is still devouring fire elements. But without the instruction of Cloud Dance, it just took a look at the nearby Shangguan calendar. Shangguanli chuckles in his heart and reaches out to catch Yunwu, who is in a coma. However, Huaquilin pushes him back 2 steps with a fireball. A low roar comes from his ear. Roar! Shangguanli then reflected that if he was too close, Huaquilin would still turn over. When Shangguanli ponders, Huiqilin, who is safe and sound, suddenly roars. Another fireball comes in his mouth, which forces Shangguanli to step back again and again, with a trace of haze on his face. It seems that we have to solve this problem first. Huiqilin devours a few fire elements while spitting out fireballs. However, because he is not yet fully grown up, he soon loses his energy and reluctantly takes back Yunwu's body. Shangguan had a ferocious smile, and all kinds of attacks were gathering on his hands. The protective shield flashed and flashed. He saw that it was going to be broken, and there were cracks on it. Shangguan looked at him not far away, anxious, but unable to move. Dad, please let her go. I beg you. When she was just hit to fly, his father sealed his muscles and bones. For a while and a half, he couldn't do it even if he wanted to stand up. Cloud Dance, which is about to lose its energy shield protection, is still struggling in the abyss of evolution, unaware of the dangers of the outside world. Shingguanli's eyes flashed an excited look, and his hands worked harder. Bang bang. After a series of attacks, the energy shield finally couldn't hold. With a small crushing sound, a strong wind in Shangguanli's hand was too late to recover. Dad? Shangguan roared. But at this time, might have been the aftershock of bloody clouds, but suddenly disappeared in place. The strong wind hit the ground, leaving a pit. You little fellow, you are very provocative. A dragon in white appears on the fork of the tree, holding the cloud dance in a coma. He looks at the man below with a smile and says coldly, "I'll take this little guy and your son first. If there's anything, I'll talk about it later. After all, the little guy needs a good rest now." The Lo added another sentence. The dragon's evil fingers caress the clouds and some dry lips. After a kiss, he lifts up the Shangwan who has not recovered and flies away. Shangwan's almanac is still in pursuit, but it is found that there is no trace. "Thank you for your help." When the three fell to the ground, Shangwan also recovered a lot. When he saw the dragon's evil, he was not very surprised, so he expressed his thanks to the dragon. The dragon is inclined to evil, but he looks down at the cloud dance in his arms and purses his lips. "You are not good. How should I punish you?" Shangwan looks at the dragon and feels dejected in his heart. Now Yunwu is still in a coma. How can she? Well, it's just pretending to sleep. Why care? Before the words in Shangwan's heart were finished, Yunwu coughed awkwardly. Immediately, he opened his eyes and struggled from the dragon's evil arms. His eyes were misty, and his momentum also increased. "It's a good time for me to improve my strength. Should I come back?" Long Qingxie ignores Shangwan's strange expression and looks at Yunwu's eyes, which are tender and gloomy. This heart has the spirit to calculate or not. Cloud Dance flatters smile. At this time, she still felt tired. If she made this guy angry at this time, she would be taught a lesson and had no resistance. This answer is very successful to please the dragon. With a satisfied smile, Long Qingxie reached for Yunwu's cheek and said in a soft voice, "I'll let you go this time. If I dare to take such a risk, next time you're a little guy, you can stand at." Cloud Dance curled his mouth. No matter how evil the dragon was, he didn't plan to continue to care about it. He turned to the Shangwan who was in a trance and said, "Where are you going now?" Shangwan was silent for a while. He seemed to think of his father's behavior before. After a haze in his eyes, he said in a deep voice, "How are you doing with me?" Long Qingxie nodded. Rare no objection. Cloud Dance, originally nervous mood, also is finally relieved. Fortunately, Long Qingxie this time did not recklessly jealous. Otherwise, the bad luck is his own. "It's very late. Let's get out of here and find an inn to rest." Yunwu, whose strength has just been improved, feels a little tired. Although Hyo blocks most of her attack power, she still has unstable breath at this time. It's better to find a safe place to practice one night and recover a little. "Well, let's go." Long Qingxie also knows that Yunwu's physical condition at this time is not suitable for walking around, so it's time to get down. The three rushed to the border. Yunwu suddenly thought that because she was the blood of the witch family, she was able to enter and leave the border freely. Shangwan was the son of the vice lord of the Beast Gate, and naturally, he went in and out of his own gate. But how did Long Qingxie get in? Cloud Dance is confused. In the front of the dragon, just under the two people's gaze, stretched out his hand to tear a hole in the border, turned to look at the two people who did not move. "Not yet. That sounds familiar." Yunwu and Shangwan look at each other and cleverly choose to go out from the gap torn by Dragon Qingxie. There are only 2 steps, that is the stream. Seeing that there was no one around, Yunwu just sat on the ground and molested, stabilizing the power of some chaotic elements in her body. Long Qingxie takes a serious look at Yunwu and consciously goes to Yunwu to protect his dharma. His long and narrow eyes are shining with uncertain light, scanning around. These two people, poor really be to cut continuously of evil relationship. Xiao Mu, who was hiding in the dark, looked at the place for a while. Then his body covered by his robe turned in a direction and went into the dark. A cup of tea time. Cloud Dance. Open eyes, lips light pursed, eyes a trace of light across, the momentum of the body and a bit cold. Shangwan picked his eyebrows on one side, and his tone was slightly envious. Xiaowu, you really have a smooth road of cultivation. Yunwu stood up, smiling recklessly and dangerously. But I have many people who haven't cut me one by one, and God will help me. Long Qingxie smiles, grabs Yunwu's hand, puts it on his lips, and kisses it, saying, "How can I help you?" Cloud Dance smiles, but does not speak. Two people nearby exude one kind of extremely tacit, understanding feeling. When the two stood together, the dangerous atmosphere that they collided with did not even make Shangguan feel that way when he was angry with his father. Knowing that a few people are friends, but still cannot help but chill from the heart. But Shangguan's face was a little dark, and he could not help retreating 2 steps, hiding his heart. Then he laughed at himself in his heart. But he became more and more timid, more and more anyway. Why are you here? Cloud Dance thinks of the doubt in one's self-heart. Pick eyebrow to ask away. Dragon Ching evil extremely natural will Cloud Cape even. Voice low and ambiguous. Naturally, I have a way. What's more, I can't just watch my wife being arrested. So, I'll improve my strength and come here. I just don't know why I'm here. Maybe I'm as smart as you say? After that, the cool dragon chuckles in a low voice. The cloud dances to smell speech. In the eyes flash to wipe helplessly, but the corner of the mouth is dyed some smile. Way, really? Of course. But what if I find out you're lying? The cloud dances to pick eyebrows to all glance at the dragon to pour evil. Long Qingxia grinned. This time, he didn't rush to answer, but pondered for a while before he spoke in a low voice. I can't hide anything from you. But I just found out about it. What's the matter? It's said that I'm the young leader of the evil family. I'm being pursued by the people of the 5-Star Club. You know, I don't like being chased. So I'll come up and see what the 5-Star Club is. The dragon's heresy is easy. Cloud Dance turns one's eyes. I still really think you were specially come to save me. Originally is just along the way. After a pause, Yunwu seemed to think of something, and suddenly slightly raised his mouth and said, "Well, even if I'm here, I won't go to you. This time, I'll make a big fuss and give those old people a memory. What do you think?" Longqing, evil spirit hook lips, willing to extreme, just in this way, can't avoid a few days of time. Cloud Dance picks eyebrow. Didn't hear the ambiguous meaning in the Longqing evil words. Ask away. But you still have other affairs? With a smile, Long Qingxia puts Cloud Dance into his arms and slightly clings to his body. His warm breath hits Cloud Dance's sensitive earlobe with charming charm. His low voice rings out, dangerous and haunting. "You're my bride. It's a long night. What do you say you should do?" Yunwu was absent-minded for a moment, and finally combined those words in his mind. After hearing the hint, he felt hot on his face. He pushed the dragon away and spat angrily. "You dirty apprentice." Long Qingxia was amused by Yunwu's reaction, and his smile became more and more unrestrained. "You are my bride, my woman. What shame do you do? They're not married yet." However, Yunwu didn't dare to say it. He was afraid that this man would really play a hooligan. So Yunwu choked on this. He can only glare at Long Qingxia and turn around to look at him no longer. On one side, all the officials listened to the whispered words clearly, looked at them and shook their heads. "It's really in broad daylight. I can't stand you. Let's go." "I can't stay with people like you, of course." Shangguan is only joking. He just wants to leave. However, as soon as he stepped out with his left foot, he was suddenly attacked by a cold light behind him, and a small hole was made in the ground. Cloud Dance eyes a cold, immediately toward the direction to see. I saw a few figures looking down at them, and the clothes on the sign, very clear to tell a few people, "This is the 5-star meeting." "Tut, you are very lucky." The first man, with a trace of discontent on his face, still had a little dark light in his hand. It was obvious that the attack was directed at Shangguan. When the line of sight was against Yunwu and Long Qingxi, it was on Yunwu at last, and the smile on his face was more unrestrained. "Who should I be? It's you, so I won't look for it again." It seems that I recognized Yunwu. I should say that. Cloud Dance sneers, the hand a dark light around. When the black fog dispersed, a big knife mark appears in the hand. The whole body is black, but it exudes a faint and frightening blood. Look at what I'm wearing, but I'm from the 5-star club. I just saw what it was, but I sent it to my door. At the same time, he turned his eyes and looked at Yunwoo. He asked with a smile, "Would you like to watch?" Cloud Dance curled his mouth, put down the knife in his hand slightly, and answered casually, "It's better to look at it than not to do it yourself." It's clear that they don't pay attention to dozens of them. The leader's face suddenly turned black, and he glared at the 3 people who didn't care much, as if they were squeezing out words from their teeth, and said, "Today, I'll let you know what regret is." Chief had said that the Cloud Dance is not easy to provoke. Moreover, it seems that the man is still the deputy head of Wansho Gate. Before he finished his words, he was punched in the face by the leader. After an exclamation, he fell down from the tree and covered his nose. "If you don't have the guts, don't come. Get out. Today, I'm going to show you how I clean up these 3 pieces of trash." The person who has been beaten opens his mouth and swallows what he wants to say. He can only pray in his heart that he can be let go once. The leader is a new branch commander. Normally speaking, most of the people who can get to this position don't know how much life and death, and they will never be so reckless. But who can make someone else's father powerful? Naturally, promotion is faster than eating. It is only because of this speed that many people at the rudder are dissatisfied with him. This time, he also wants to take advantage of the opportunity to get rid of the Cloud Dance, which is regarded as a hidden danger by Samsung. Thinking about the way he was sought after by tens of thousands of people and appreciated by his father, his smile became more and more confident, while the people behind him were hesitant. Naturally, they're not afraid of death, but this Cloud Dance as they can't risk their lives for a result, but obviously their leader doesn't think so. All for me? Those who dare to retreat. The man suddenly took a look at the subordinate who had just been attacked by him. With a cold smile, a dark light flashed in his hand. The next second, he directly pierced the man's eyebrows. It's death. The subordinate didn't expect to die. Before the fight started, he died in his own hands. Moreover, he was still in the hands of such a bully. Really not reconciled. And a few people behind the leader see this. Eye ground, undercurrent flickers, but finally also did not say anything. I see my subordinates are finally obedient. The man just smile, turn head to look at below, is still a face, leisurely Cloud Dance, 3 people. In the eye a trace of evil. Today is the day of your death. Help me get promoted. A dark light split, 3 separate, the original place where the station appeared a big pit. At the same time, the people of the 5-star society who were hiding around also rushed out and besieged each other. But before he got close, he was forced to retreat one after another. The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to sneer slightly young, easily and freely brandish the big knife. All the way directly rushes in front of the leader, after bending over to flash that person's emotion is urgent to stab a sword, raises the foot to kick out, kicks that man to fly. But just when I was going to catch up and make up for it. A figure faster than her step, the leading man has to take off the force of the body to grasp, thrown to a tree. It's the dragon. Cloud Dance, slightly dissatisfied, almost in Dragon Ching evil stand in front of that person, staring at Dragon Ching evil way. Rob me to do what? You're all mine. How can I get one of them? Long Qingxia's smile remains unchanged. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow. Also don't want to fight with Dragon Ching evil what? Turn head to look at the man who is limp on the ground, the corner of the mouth cold a hook. Can also want to promote? Men are directly silly. It seems how did not expect originally thought to be able to win the situation, has become the present situation. Looking at the Cloud Dance, a kind of never-had suffocation feeling wrapped him. Lips moved for a long time, but speechless, eyes full of fear. Slightly turn your eyes. The dozens of subordinates who rushed out before have fallen to the ground. Scarlet blood stained the land, and the flowing streams beside it. And the Shangguan was wielding his sword and stabbed the last man in the chest. All this happened in a short time. These two, what kind of monster is it? Looking at the man's frightened eyes, Yunwu shook his head and sighed. Hand a brush, hanging on the tree or that man, directly pulled off the ground. Straight roll a circle, just stable. Cloud Dance came forward, squatted funny looking at the man's embarrassed face, smiling mouth. A fledgling smelly boy. Don't learn from those old people. He wants to do something earth-shaking as soon as he comes out. In the end, it's not worth losing his life. After that, with a sigh, it seemed that he was really sorry for him. Looking at the cold smile on his face and the cloud dance on his face, the man on the ground felt like a mole ant who could be crushed to death at any time for the first time. But now, he can't even say a word for mercy. At this time, Yunwu suddenly gave a strange smile, took back the big knife, turned his hand, a dagger appeared in his hand, and attached himself to the front of the body boy. Tell us, where's the branch rudder of the 5-star club? Cloud Dance approaches to go up, taking the hand all dagger clap that person's cheek, inquire away. The man lunged for a long time, just stiff swallow a mouthful of saliva. Looking at the Cloud Dance of that I bottom, deep flash a touch of panic. If I tell you, will you let me go? Well, do you say it or not? The Cloud dances like a smile, but not a smile, which makes people wonder what she thinks in her heart. And the man had no time to care. Cloud Dance in the end will really let him go, see a glimmer of life. Eyes are bright, eager to say. After this stream, about 2 miles north, there is a cave. Below the cave is our base. Long Qingxie thought about the place in his mind and nodded thoughtfully. No wonder he couldn't find it all the time. It turned out that it was so hidden and the place was desolate and smoke-free, so he didn't look for it seriously. Thank you for the information. Cloud Dance, satisfied smile. Dagger in the hand hit a turn. Seems to be ready to leave the appearance. The man breathed a sigh of relief, and the feeling of the rest of his life came to him. Father, I'm sorry. You certainly don't want your son to die in the hands of these two people. As long as you make a serious apology, you will. The idea in his mind was not over, and he suddenly felt a chill in his chest. The man suddenly glared, looked down at the bright dagger in front of his chest, looked up at the Cloud Dance, and his eyes were full of doubts and questions. You want to break your word? Sorry, I didn't promise to let you go. Yunwu continued to smile brilliantly, but without giving the man any chance to react. The dagger had penetrated into his heart. Finally, in the man's eyes, Yunwu pulls the dragon away. The man's eyes are full of discontent, but it's too late to do anything. His vision is gradually blurred. It seems that there is blood choking out, and his nose is burning hot the last darkness. Cloud Dance, where are you going now? When Yunwu came, Shangguan was wiping his sword carefully. See two people come over. Quietly toward just that man there turned one eye, see that is already a corpse of the man. In the eyes, slightly a trace of irony. How about going to the 5-star club to loosen up? The Cloud dances to smile to sing. Let a person can't see it all. She is just that leave a ground remnant corpse of person. If it's all this rubbish, what's the point of loosening your muscles? Shangguan shrugged his shoulders and closed the sword. Just now I heard that man's tone was so big that I really thought he was some powerful person. In the end, he didn't even have a stick of incense and died. He didn't even leave his name, which made him become an official for a long time. Just because this person is rubbish doesn't mean everyone else is. Long Qingxi chuckles. He has already investigated it. Although it's just the skin and it's not clear. Can also guess 5 stars will be able to exist and continue to grow. Absolutely cannot be so simple on the surface. As for today's maybe, it's just a poor boy who doesn't know the heaven and earth. Besides, there are many people at the helm. Cloud Dance laughs to connect, and Long Qing evil look at each other. Unspeakable tacit understanding. By these two people invisible only show love aroused a goosebumps, Shangguan rub arm. Helpless way. Then go, no fun, I can't whip the body. The three soon left and disappeared into the night. And the remains of a place, quiet. However, the strong bloody smell of this area soon attracted some fierce warcraft scattered on the mountain, roaring around and slowly approaching. Before long, it will be cleaned up by these natural scavengers. If it wasn't for the bloodstains on the ground, no one would have noticed what just happened here. According to what the man said, the three soon found the old cave where the Five-Star Club was steering and discussed how to attack at the cave entrance. Even if they are sure that they can get in and get out, the Five-Star Club has a long history. There must be some mystery in it. Such recklessness is not their style. Of course, this time I feel like trying water. Since there are so many secrets in this upper boundary, no one is allowed to break it first. Only by arousing some water spray can we see the situation clearly. Cloud Dance and others secretly discussed and soon assigned the action. Long Qingxie is responsible for causing a riot at the gate and leading people out. The Shangguan ambushes at the gate, which forces them not to take a step. As for Yunwu, go to the cave and set a fire. Little thing, what's the reward after this time? When Yunwu is ready to get up, Dragon Qingxie suddenly comes with such a sentence. Cloud Dance lung for a while, and Long Qing Evil look at each other for a while. Just understand what Long Qing Evil Mouth is saying. Fundus flash a helpless. But his cheek flashed a touch of heat. Can't you be serious once? No, Long Qingxie replied simply and decisively, and at the same time bullied him. Since you were sorry, I'll do it myself. While talking, Cloud Dance has not yet come and dodge. Was imprisoned in the arms of Dragon Qing Xie to ask for a deep kiss. When he was let go, the next Shangguan was shocked and turned into a naked dislike. And Cloud Dance is also on the face burst red, stare Dragon Qing Evil one eye, stamp foot to turn round to enter. The belly of Long Qingxie's thumb rubbed the lip, and the smile was meaningful. It was not difficult to see the aftertaste in his eyes. Shangguan was really stunned. He took a look at Long Qingxie, and he felt that this is the real man who can accept such a rebellious and cold person as Yunwu. In the bottom of my heart, it is directly ignored, so slightly astringent, gloomy. It's about a year after the Cloud Dance. Long Qingxie estimated that it was almost the same time. He nodded to the superior officer. Shangguan flies to one side, while Long Qingxie stands at the entrance of the cave. With a smile on his face, he gathers the power of elements and hits the top of the cave without hesitation. Boom! With a loud noise, the rubble fell one after another, shaking the earth and mountains. Some of the people who were meeting at the headquarters also got up in a panic. This base, however, is set up in the cave. The only people who can shake it are strong and powerful people. It also means that the base is likely to be destroyed. Who's out there? One of the slightly younger men was the most alarmed and looked at the door. The elder man, who was sitting on the throne, had similar eyebrows to the man who had died in Yunwu's hands before, but also had more treachery and dignity. At this time, the door was suddenly pushed open, and a young man in a uniform rushed in. Helmsman, no. I don't know who's coming at the gate. It's blowing the cave. If we go on like this, we won't be able to support ourselves here. As if in order to cater to his words, a piece of gravel suddenly fell from the cave and fell in the middle of several people. There was a sudden silence, and the elder man on the throne finally spoke in a low voice. Wu Ji, take people out to have a look. The young man who was the first to panic hugged his fist and nodded. Yes, Wu Ji took people out, and the remaining people, and those people, are the hall leaders with a certain status. When they looked at the helmsman one by one, there was no lack of irony in their eyes. Helmsman, isn't it your son who caused any trouble? Come back? The only people who can know about this base are the members of the Five-Star Club. Now that outsiders have come, It can only be said that someone has leaked the location of the five-star meeting. And the only possibility is that the second son who depends on his father, I told others the location of our base. The helmsman still thought carefully whether to let your son take the helmsman's hat. If we go on like this, our five-star subrudder will be finished, right? In the face of the public's doubt, the helmsman's face turned red, and some blue veins burst out of his forehead. But after all the people were silent, they said in a cold voice, "Can you question the son of our helmsman? If you don't think the strength of cultivation is enough, don't go out to experience it. He still has the identity of helmsman in secret, but on the surface, he gives this position to his son, which is also experience. But now it seems that the situation is not good, so the old boss is the guy's father? It's like that. As early as just now, let Black AO help a favor, sneak and cloud dance, hide on the beam." At this time, hearing this, Yunwoo couldn't help chucking her lips, and her eyes flashed a trace of light. While one of them was unprepared, the dart in his hand caught a trace of black fire, and he immediately took off. Sun also at that moment, cloud dance figure a flash, quickly escaped from this conference room, only here behind a scream and a riot. "Next, take the gift from my girl." "Who is it?" The helmsman let out a roar of anger and released his authority, which swept the whole conference room like a flood. The cultivation is a little worse. The complexion suddenly changes pale, reluctantly stops. Also some steps falter. "Helmsman, someone must have plotted against us. Go out and have a look." One of them suggested that no matter how dissatisfied they are with the helmsman, they should not be able to bury their own lives. The helmsman pondered for a moment and gave a cold hum. He knew in his heart that it was not the time to investigate. He walked away, and the people behind him quickly followed. All the disciples outside didn't know what was going on. Although they were serious, they were still confused and flustered. This has never happened at this time. Who is it? How dare they attack the territory of the five-star club? Seeing the helmsman come out, they cast their eyes one by one. "Let's get ready. It's mostly exposed here. We should clean up some important things and prepare for the transfer." The experience of the helmsman for so many years is not in vain. When we analyze the current situation, someone must have exposed the position of the branch helm. Their branch rudder is different from other branch rudders. They're just a branch rudder for training new people. Almost all of these disciples are just new people who haven't been fully opened up. It's absolutely the most stupid behavior to fight hard. Of course, outsiders don't know this. As for whether the location of their branch base was leaked by his son, he didn't want to think about it. If so, something must have happened to his only son. At this point, the helmsman's face was even more ugly. He chose some excellent ones to follow and was ready to go out to see if there was an ambush. If someone really wanted to do it on purpose, he should be cautious. However, as soon as he stepped out of the gate, he saw the ground in front of him. Not far from the entrance, there was a bloody corpse, and there was some gravel scattered around. But the entrance of the cave was quiet, and no one seemed to move. The helmsman frowned and took 2 steps. But as soon as I stepped out of the cave, I felt a strong wind coming. I quickly resisted it, stepped back 2 steps, and saw the 2 people who suddenly appeared in front of me. At first, I was stunned, but when he saw the golden eyes of Dragon Ching Xie, his eyes suddenly shrank, and a look of surprise swept over his eyes. "You, it's you. I've been looking for you very hard. You've brought it to me by yourself." The helmsman squinted at the rebellious young man in front of him, and his body was full of danger. Dragon Ching, evil smell speech. For his word seems not too unexpected. Mouth slightly evil spirit outline. Expression dark down, still with a touch of evil smile. Confront the old helmsman. "If I don't come, how can I tell you where the sun is?" The information in his hand is very reliable. Since the people of the 5-star society are looking for his whereabouts, they must know that he has special marks. And the only special thing about him is the silver silk and the golden pupil. Silver now put on black hair, but his eyes are golden, but he deliberately did not cover. At least, at this moment, he would like to see what the expression of the so-called five-star club looks like when they see him. Now that he saw it, he said that he could kill at last, thinking of the killing that will be provoked soon. The blood of Dragon Qingxia seems to be boiling inexplicably. The pores of the whole body are open because of excitement, and the golden pupil twinkles so familiar that the killing is bloody. On the contrary, his bloodthirsty eyes suddenly made the old helmsman shudder. It's like in his eyes he is a dead man. In addition, just dragon pour evil next words, instantly fear into anger. What did you say? The voice of the old helmsman was uncertain and threatening. Knowing what it is, but still can't believe, asked once. Dragon Qing, evil rare with his words again, repeated once. If I don't come, how can I tell you that your precious son has been eaten up by warcraft in the forest? You. The pilot's pupil suddenly shrank, his teeth clenched, and his anger suddenly rose. Good. I'll make you pay for it. Go and bury my son with me. Say, roar of a moment bully body attack. Long Qingxia was not nervous. He glanced at others with a touch of strange blood in his eyes. The eyes that touched him were all present, and the disciples felt a sense of foreboding in their hearts. However, the next second, the dragon's evil figure has a strange flash, facing the old helmsman. In the later period of Wuzong, Dragon Qing, evil mouth, evil spirit Yang, Fundus excited a flash. However, when Long Qingxia was fighting with the helmsman, the disciples on the scene immediately wanted to comply with the orders of the old helmsman. Just now, withdraw to the rear with other disciples, pack up things and retreat together. But at this time, Shengguan stood in front of the crowd with a smile and said in a soft voice, "Why are you leaving? I haven't done it yet." Many disciples looked at each other, and finally one of them gritted his teeth and said, "Up. He's only one person." "Yes, we work together to solve him good." The disciple who was going to retreat nodded his head and put on an attack. But the person who opened his mouth at the beginning rushed to Shengguan ahead of him, and the others followed him. Shengguan looked at the person who was the first to rush over and shook his head. Tut, there are many people who are not afraid of death, but there are more people who are not afraid of death and are still stupid. Although the words say so, but the corner of the mouth raised a touch of bloodthirsty smile, arc wielding the sword. Blood splashed everywhere, dyed the land under your feet red. Since the three people gathered in this place, it has been doomed that this will only be a one-sided massacre. Inside the cave, Cloud Dance looks at those disciples who have been dressed neatly and gathered with their things to leave, and can't help shaking their heads and sighing. I really don't know how the five-star club grew up. The cultivation of these disciples is too bad. However, Yunwu doesn't know that this branch is just the most basic branch of the five-star club. After taking a look at it, Yunwu flashes into the depth of the cave. Library? When the Cloud Dance into the deepest, see the sign of the three words. Can't help but pick eyebrows. Generally, this place has many good things. How to say, here is also the branch of the five-star club, so there are many good things when you think about it. Cloud Dance will naturally flash in. There is no lock, push the door, and there is no guard. When I went in, I found that it was just a space. There was no dark space. There was nothing precious. This branch of the five-star society is really stingy. Yunwu shrugs when he sees nothing good. The next second, the hands jump out of a few clusters of sparks, respectively, fell on some books. By the way, there is a little wind, which makes the original small fire jump up in an instant, constantly licking the dry book corners and scattering thick smoke. As soon as Yunwu came out, he hid in a place, waiting for those who came to transfer their property to find out what kind of expression they would have when their library was on fire. The disciples of the five-star club didn't disappoint Yunwu this time. Without many meetings, 3 or 4 strong-looking disciples came to carry books. But when they opened the door, they were shocked by the scene. With the heat wave coming, the original clean library has become a sea of fire. And at the same time, several other places also were the fire call for help. Get someone to put out the fire. This is the cultivation method they slowly obtain from other high-level branches after a lot of hard work. Now, even if they can't retreat completely, they have to be able to save a little bit. Enjoy enough cloud dance, smile. Just leave here. Start wantonly in this so big branch in the fire. The following people panic running around carrying water. But the speed of their water transportation is far less than that of the blatant tongue of fire. What's more, there are also cloud dances on one side, which need to be added from time to time. Give up here. All ready to leave. At this time, I do not know where to come out of a man in white. See signs wrong. This fire had a see all too strange point. At last, I'm ready to leave. A little uneasiness in his heart made him subconsciously want to leave here as soon as possible. I'm leaving now? Yunwu suddenly appeared behind the man like a ghost, with the cold dagger on the fragile skin of his neck. The man in white was stiff, and his pupils contracted. You? Who are you? He didn't even notice that someone was approaching, which means that his strength is above him. Cloud dance mouth, slightly young smile, soft voice way. This you don't need to tube. Have a good rest. The voice was soft, like a whisper to a lover. Just the next second, without waiting for the man's reaction, Yunwu's hand had already made an effort and directly cut off the man's neck. Looking at the corner of his clothes dyed red with blood, there was a trace of excitement in Yunwu's eyes. All this just happened in a few seconds when the man in white was red with blood and fell down. The rest of the people on the scene, as if this just rigid back to God. So the captain was killed? Those disciples who didn't feel much fear at first were staring at Yunwu in horror. They wanted to move their legs away from Yunwu, who was like death. Go, go! At this time, I don't know who yelled. The disciples immediately followed the scattered sand and turned around to escape. However, how could Cloud Dance let these people go so easily? With a sneer in the corner of his mouth, his body flashed, a touch of cold light swept by, blood splashed on the ground. A body has been lying down. As soon as their faces changed, they became more and more frightened, however. At this time, there was a loud noise at the door, which attracted Yunwu's attention. What's going on out there? At this time, the scattered disciples, seeing that Yunwu's attention was diverted, rushed to flee. Cloud Dance is not in a hurry. There are Shangguan and Dragon Qingxie guarding at the door. These people are doomed to go. A moment later, the first person to run to the cave entrance, in the dust filled with a scream, and then no life, scared the rest of the people behind, immediately did not dare to act rashly. In the cave and behind the clouds around, difficult to advance and retreat. But in a moment, they came out of the dust. They were Dragon Qingxie and Shangguan. It's just that Long Qingxie's evil face doesn't look very good. Even his breath is more cruel than before. After that, there was no need for Shangguan to fight with Yunwu. Long Qingxie was like a meat grinder. A dark shadow passed quickly, and even the cry didn't fall. The figure opened a hole in the middle of those people, and in the twinkling of an eye, it was standing beside Yunwu. Suck! The sound of pouring air spread on both sides. I saw a dead body lying down in the middle. 7 or 8 of them were killed in the blink of an eye. Is this man a human or a ghost? How strange and terrible! The rest of the disciples standing in the corner on both sides. At this time, all of them were frightened and looked at the dragon and Cloud Dance in horror and fear. As if afraid of the next moment, died in the hands of that terrible man. Is he really angry after the strength? Cloud dances to pick eyebrow, stretch out hand to wipe off the trace of blood on his cheek, soft voice way. What's the matter? Did the old man run away? One word hits the mark. Dragon Qing, evil mouth of smoke, but still nod. In fact, the little thing that the old man ran away, Long Qingxie would not be angry. He just heard that the old man said one thing, which made him angry so far. Of course, he didn't want to say it, and other people naturally thought that he was angry because the old man ran away. Cloud Dance smile, a rare consolation. Lives so many years old guy. Must have some backhand. We're so easy to be caught by us, don't think about it. Now let's get rid of the trivia. At the moment of language falling, Yunwu calls out the ancient sword in his hand and suddenly cuts back. A hapless ghost who wants to sneak attack falls to the ground, and Yunwu always keeps the same smile on his face. Looking at this kind of cloud dance, Long Qingxia suddenly feels much better. Without any warning, he asks for a sweet kiss on Cloud Dance's lips before he leaves. Cloud Dance looked at the man. The fundus flashed a helpless, but the corner of the mouth to rise a lot. It's a one-sided killing. Long Qingxia, Shangguan, and Yunwu are like a scythe of death, harvesting life constantly. In less than a moment, the people who fled in a hurry or planned to fight against the enemy were all left with blood-red corpses, and the air smelled of blood. And the previous fire was out of control. Long Qingxia looked around, and there was no fish missing the net. Then he turned his head and looked at Yunwu and said, "Let's go." Shangguan and Yunwu clean up the blood, nod, and leave together. This place was originally inaccessible. Now, even if someone passed by and saw the thick smoke from the half-collapsed cave, they probably hid away. Who would have nothing to do with those troubles? After leaving, after all, the smell of blood may not be very good for Long Qingxia, or even pleasant. But Shangguan clean person really can't bear. Cloud Dance also doesn't matter agree. But 3 people went to the inn and threw an ingot of silver at the counter. The shopkeeper, however, seemed to see some monsters and ghosts. As soon as his face changed, he immediately called a young man to take him upstairs. It's very strange that all the people in the upper world have the same strength, but they are so timid. However, perhaps 3 people at this time, still residual with the thick smell of blood and evil spirit. In the room. You can do it later. I'll go down and order some food. Cloud Dance sat on the chair to a cup of tea. Although the strength has been promoted to the middle of Wuzong, almost 3 days do not eat, there will be no problem. But in the end still used to eat something pad stomach. Although Long Qingxia likes blood, he doesn't like his clothes getting dirty. So he takes off his robe and throws it on the ground. When hearing what Yunwu said, the evil spirit turns around and looks at Yunwu vaguely, full of evil. Not together? Cloud Dance's stem, nearly spout out the tea in the mouth, fiercely stare at Long Qing evil after one eye, also turn round to descend stairs. Little things sooner or later swallow you, still shy what? Seeing this, Long Qingxia was very happy and laughed. The shameless laughter came from behind. I wish I could rush in now and teach the shameless guy a lesson if she could beat him. However, his skill is inferior to others, so he has to admit his life. Cloud dances down to the shopkeeper's orders for several kinds of food. When he is ready to turn back, he suddenly hears what is being discussed at the next table. It seems that it is about the Beast Gate and the 5-Star Club. Then he changed his mind and asked for a pot of tea. He sat down at the next table, drinking tea and listening. Ah, have you heard that the 5-Star Club's branch helm has been washed by blood? Except for the branch helm commander who escaped back. None of them will stay. I'll go. Who's so good? What about the only son of the arrogant branch master? You don't know. His son seems to have died outside. He told the outsider the position of the 5-Star Club's rudder. Tut-tut, such a son on the branch director's stall is also pitiful. Is there no movement on the other branch directors of the 5-Star Club? It's said that the 5-Star Club has been in close contact with the Beast Gate recently. I'm going to issue a hunting order. It's bad luck for that man. Behind of Cloud Dance also have no intention and listen to put down the cup in the hand, turn round to go upstairs, instantly disappear and the person come and go between. The staff mobility of this inn and tea house is very large, and no one has noticed it. And among those who are talking about it, it is even more unexpected that the girl who just sat at the table next to them is the one who will separate the 5-Star Club. The news spread quickly. No sooner had they arrived at the inn than the news spread. Cloud Dance pushes the door and comes in. It happens that Long Qingxia is wearing a profane dress. His strong chest is exposed. His beautiful clavicle and tight abdominal muscles are matched with a face that looks like heaven and man with some evil spirit. This scene is enough for any girl to hold her heart and scream. Yunwoo took a look at it, but his face didn't change. He walked to the table and sat down, saying, "The matter of the branch rudder has come. The old man must have returned to the main rudder." So fast. Long Qingxie was a bit surprised. He buttoned up and sat down opposite Yunwoo. It seems that there must be some rapid transmission tool between the five-star clubs. Since the five-star club has such a big name in this upper bound, it must be that there are many cards that they have not detected. But even so, it doesn't prevent her from killing all the way to the end. After all, who let her man, but he was targeted by several old men who didn't have long eyes. I ordered some food. I'll take a bath first. I'll call the Shangguan over later. It's hard to feel sticky, although she is able to use water elements, but since the inn naturally have to enjoy the taste of hot bath. Yunwoo got up, took the towel on the shelf, and was ready to go in. Suddenly he turned back and said, "Don't scare people when you open the door later." Then he turned and went in. Long Qingxie touched his cheek, and his eyes were puzzled. Does he look scary? The bathroom inside. Immerse the body in hot water. Cloud dance with a comfortable sigh. No matter how tired, in hot water is the fastest way to relieve. Cloud dance is enjoying. The dragon outside gets up, seems to be ready to call Shangguan. Inside the room, the cloud dances with eyes closed. But suddenly I feel a familiar breath and suddenly open my eyes. All of a sudden, he jumped out of the water, pulled a big towel, and wrapped it on his body. He leaned out of the window sill and squinted at the bottom. Actually, I saw a man in a black cloak in the corner of an alley. Xiaomu. Is that him? Cloud dance eyes slightly mi, almost at the same time at the foot of a tiptoe, jumped down from the window. When she jumped in front of Xiaomu, she did not know when she was wrapped in profane clothes. However, there was no one in the dark alley except Xiaomu. She doesn't care. The dragon was aware of the evil almost at the same time. When he came to the window, he just saw the scene of the cloud dancing out of the window. There was a trace of helplessness and unhappiness in Long Qingxie's eyes. This little thing is more and more noisy. As a woman, she went out like this in broad daylight. At the moment, he rolled up the outer garment left by the cloud dance, quietly flashed out, and landed on the roof, observing what happened to them. Xiaomu, when you were talking about people, was it the dragon who poured out evil cloud dance's wrinkling eyebrow? The eyes are quite cool looking at that strange Xiaowood. Although they were face to face, she could not feel any breath. Moreover, she seemed to be able to clearly feel that his skin was hard and cold, not like a human body at all. After so long, she couldn't figure out who Xiaomu was. This question should be very clear in your mind. Why ask more questions? Xiaomu's voice was as low as ever, but with a smile. Yunwoo is not happy in his heart. It's not a good feeling to be out of control. Who are you? Xiaomu was silent, and his scarlet eyes were staring at the clouds. The two men were in such a standoff. Until, it seems to be watching cloud dance a little relaxed, Xiaomu's body suddenly and fiercely back, ready to escape. Yunwoo was caught off guard and watched him escape again. At this time, a figure quickly fell in the air, directly intercepted Xiaomu's body. The black breath turned into a blade, directly hit the ground, just in front of Xiaomu's feet. Xiaomu was forced to stop. When you come, at least make it clear before you leave. It's really appetizing to say nothing when you come. Long Qingxie looks at Xiaomu lazily, but his mouth is crooked with a strange sneer. The look was threatening. Xiaomu was not in a hurry. He just stared at the dragon for a long time. Then he reached out and took out a piece of broken iron from his arms. Dragon roll? When Yunwoo saw what he took out, the tornado in the sea of consciousness sent out a tremor, which was too familiar. That's the reaction of tornado debris. That day, she found the shadow of the cave escape. It was him. After Xiaomu was on the east-west road, he took back the broken iron. Cloud Dance's eyes suddenly fierce, close to Xiaomu. The shadow that day was you. Who on earth are you? I said, I'm your friend. Xiaomu suddenly said with a smile. Friends? Cloud Dance smell speech can't help but frown. This Xiao Mu is mysterious. Every time we meet, what kind of friends do we talk about? From the beginning to the end, she didn't even know what he was. How could she say that he was a friend? However, if you can get the tornado, your friend will be your friend. He can call it whatever he likes. Well, if you like to call a friend, it's up to you. Since you were a friend, can you give me that thing have a look? As long as the thing is in her hand, the incomplete part of the tornado inside, she can inhale into the chaos hall. But Xiaomu shakes his head. His scarlet eyes stare strangely at the cloud dance half ring, and then he says, "You're not honest?" "What?" Cloud dance along. Then his face could not help sinking. "What do you want?" "I must have something. If you're willing to give it, I will show you a favor. But if you don't give it, you can only be the enemy." The cloud danced and pursed her lips, and suddenly her voice became hoarse. Not to mention the situation in the upper bound at this time. Let's say the call map. She has only 6 pieces in her hand now, but because the tornado is incomplete, the whereabouts of other maps recorded in it are not complete at all. How can we find it? So, anyway, the incomplete part of the tornado must be taken. After a long silence, Xiao Mu said slowly, "If you want to come to me at midnight at the broken temple in the west of the suburb, I will explain to you." After that, no matter the cloud dance and the dragon pour out evil spirits, the body shape is strange. A dark shadow passes by, which makes people unable to catch quickly disappear in the crowd on the street. It's so fast. It's embarrassing. It seems that no one can stop him if he wants to go. Cloud dance brow tight, Cu rises. Looking at the direction that Xiao would leaves, can't help but meditate. Until he was put on a long shirt, he just looked up at the dragon. "I've decided to go tonight, so I'll go back and have a good rest now." Long Qingxia, regardless of Yinwu's willingness or not, grabs Yinwu's hand and takes her on the eaves to return to the room from another window. At the same time, the door was knocked. "Here, my guest. Here's your order." Outside the door came the timid voice of little Tu. Yinwu pursed her lips, arranged her clothes, and went to open the door when her face was not very good. Seeing that Yinwu's face didn't look as if he suddenly came out, he shrunk down and let Yinwu take his food box. Then the door in front of him was closed. The second child immediately recovered and soon retired. "I'll call the superior to come here." "No, he's here." I saw that as soon as Long Qingxia's words came down, Shengwan really pushed the door and came in. "It's time to eat." It seems that it's just the right time. As soon as Shengwan came in, he consciously sat down, picked up chopsticks, and began to eat. After dinner, Cloud Dance looks at Shengwan. The matter of Branch Rudder has been put through. "What's your plan now?" Shengwan stopped for a moment, as if he didn't know where to go. However, after pondering for a while, he said, "I'm going to find a place to practice, so that father won't do you any harm if he finds me." Yinwu nods. Shengwan also had better not involve too much in this matter. After all, his father is the deputy leader of the Beast sect. If there is any dispute, it will be very troublesome to deal with it at that time. As for the dragon, you don't need to ask. Yinwu knows it clearly. This man will never miss the chance to do something with himself. Besides, it was agreed that we would make this upper world turn upside down together. By the way, it's good to take advantage of this time to experience and improve our lower cultivation. Decided to go backwards. Shengwan goes back to his room. Cloud Dance called Small Two to clean up, gave some silver, told Small Two to buy some clothes back. They chatted for a while, got the clothes brought back by the second child, and closed their eyes to have a rest. Time passes quickly in practice. When Yunwu opened her eyes again, it was already near the midnight. At the moment, the night is quiet and there is no one outside. After Yunwu and Long Qingxia clean up together, they turn out from the window and rush to the place they told Xiaomu. It was just a piece of kung fu. They saw the broken temple described by Xiao Muku. Flash and see. Inside, already standing, still wearing cloaks of Xiao wood. "Here you are." It doesn't seem to be unexpected that Dragon Qingxia will come with him. Xiaomu turns around and takes out the broken iron in his hand. "I want to explain the origin of this thing one by one." I believe you know very well that my condition is very simple. I'll take the other 5-star club to the east as a branch. Cloud danced lung for a moment. How to solve the problem of the 5-star meeting. This Xiaomu is also related to the 5-star club? Dragon Qingxie comfortable mouth. You and 5 stars will have what deep hatred? Although the 5-star club was originally the school he was going to solve, it would be strange to put it in Xiaomu's mouth. Long Qingxie's childhood experience has made him suspicious and cautious. If he wants to do anything, he must have a reason. You don't need to know that. Xiaomu seemed to smile. There's no need to ask more about other things. After it's finished, I'll send the remnant of the dragon scroll with my hands. Yunwu and Long Qingxie look at each other. Finally, they nod and agree. The 5-star club is going to be destroyed, and the dragon scroll is going to be obtained. This transaction is not a loss for her. After saying goodbye, Xiaomu watched the two leave. After a long silence, Xiaomu brought the broken iron in his hand to his eyes. A finger was exposed from his hand, which had been covered by black robes. Under the light moonlight, it was as bright as a jade. On the way, Yunwu didn't say a word with Long Qing, just thought about it in his heart. Who is Xiaomu? I always feel that something is wrong, but I can't tell. I always feel that many things are not the same as what she sees now. The next day, when they were going to look for the 5-star club's branch in the east, as Xiaomu said, they suddenly heard something else. Have you heard that the reason why so many people have come here recently is that there is a site in the suburb? It seems that there is a map of the temple in the legend. Moreover, I don't know how many good things there are in it. Yunwu and Long Qingxie, who were going to leave, were attracted by this sentence. Looking at each other, he sat down on one side of the table, secretly but listening. Both changed faces. Irong's Yunwu and Long Qingxie are dressed in ordinary clothes. They look like a young couple who can't be more popular. Temple map. This is an absolute temptation for Cloud Dance. So, this time, naturally, we went to the so-called ruins. I heard that people from the 5-star club have also gone. 5 stars? Yunwu's eyes narrowed slightly. It seems that it is really a big fate with the 5-star club. It seems that there are traces of the 5-star club everywhere. After listening for a while, Yunwu and Long Qingxie get up and leave quietly. It is said that the site was opened 3 days later. So naturally, they went back to the guest room. 2 people went back to the room. Cloud Dance suddenly looked back at Long Qingxie. Couldn't help laughing. Long Qingxie picks eyebrows. The original action of CSC is very funny on this ordinary and even ugly face. It's even a little more lewd. That you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.